Hello, and welcome everybody to the final Playday in Grand Slam Galaxy Season 1. We have a hell of a show to get through. It has been 13 long Playdays to get us to this point. Teams jockeying for a position, some teams falling off, some teams absolutely destroying from behind. I don't actually know which teams fell off. All I know is that the rookies came through and actually wiped the floor with the league after having a rough start, so good for them. We have a hell of a day of baseball to get through to wrap up this season, where each game is going to have higher and higher stakes than the last. Let's take a look at our standings, which I went through and I updated the run differentials for to make sure that everything was actually accurate, because it turns out that the Monsters were at 55 run differential. They're actually at 53. I don't think I made any other mistakes. So, after going through and confirming everyone's run differential, I'm going to go through this in the order of the games that we're going to see today. Our first game is the Musicians versus the Bows, which we're going to see played. Sorry, let me make sure I have this right. We're going to say Musicians versus Bows on DK Jungle Night. The Musicians get to go to DK Jungle one last time this season, but it won't be as a home game, as the Bows get home field advantage since it's their pick. The Musicians, if they win, will secure 100% their position as third in the league, which will be nice for seeding in the playoffs. If they lose, it's no big deal. They may very well drop down to fourth. Heck, if they lose and the Spitballs win the games against the Monarchs... No, Spitballs aren't playing against the Monarchs. If they lose, theoretically they could drop all the way down to fifth, but we'll see, because the Bows have only scored one win so far this season, and we're all rooting for them to score second, and this is their last chance to do it. Our second game for today will be the Rookies versus the Spitballs on Wario City Day. Wario City is known as a slugger's stadium, relatively easy home run potential from these teams, and lots of opportunity for the field itself to interfere with the ball. So, we'll have to see whether or not that is in favor of the tricky Spitballs as they battle to get back to that 500 win percentage before the season ends, or whether the Rookies are able to score their win and make that much stronger of a case for first seed in the league and the winner of the regular season heading out of Playday 14. The competition to get there, that's our third game of the day. It's the Monsters versus the Monarchs. Monsters with home field advantage on DK Jungle Day. Now, the Monarchs came through, and I think that we can all agree, pretty comfortably beat the Monsters last time. If the Monsters want first seed coming out of this season, they're going to have to earn it with a much, much stronger performance against the Monarchs. The Monarchs have held very steady with their roster and lineup throughout the entire season, while the Monsters, even into this Playday, have made some minor changes to their batting order and the like. So we'll have to see whether that pays off for them, or whether trying to finagle and optimize costs them first in the league. Our last game of the day is the banger. The Flowers and the FireEggs face off, with the winner of that securing our last spot in the playoffs. Now, last week, the Flowers had home field advantage in Boston Junior's Playroom, a traditionally very defensive map, but showcased a lot of offensive potential and won the game relatively comfortably 7-3. Now it's up to the FireEggs. They're taking us to Yoshi Park, and well, we all know what a chaotic map Yoshi Park can be. Can the FireEggs squeak their way through and take advantage of the chaotic park to nail down 6th in the league, not get swept in the last series, and make their way to the playoffs? Or will the new look Flowers, who looked so dominating last week, was it not a fluke? Are they a real, serious, here to play postseason contender? Well, if they want to prove it, they'll have to get through the FireEggs to do it. So, that will be our last game for today, though, of course, as it is the highest stakes. Let's get into game number 1, which will be the Musicians versus the Bows. Now, the Bows have had a very rough season, of course. Neither of these teams have made any changes heading into this Playday, so I'll skip past a lot of the how do you do after just a quick verification to make sure that all the teams are playing with their legally allotted lineups. Hatsune Miku and her Musicians have certainly tried and succeeded in making a splash after a relatively weak start to their season. I think that we can all see the way they ramped up, especially being the first team to beat the Monsters and the only team to beat the Monsters for until Series 6, when the Monsters fell against the Rookies. So this is a very strong postseason contender to make their way into the finals. But if they want to get there, well, they're locked out at this point of the bye, so they have a 3-game way to make it. Of course, if they win this game, theoretically their seeding will be stronger. So it's up to the Musicians now to see whether or not they can conquer one last Bows squad. And it's up to the Bows squad, who have been trying this season, to see whether or not they can score one last win. Their only win, notably, it should be said, this season was against the FireEggs, which is one of the 2 teams which we're looking at right now to see, do they manage to knock their way into the postseason, or will the only team that the Bows have beat so far be the 7th place team? We'll have to find out. We'll have to find out whether the Bows can put just a little bit of a dent and a little bit of a reality check to a very, very hopeful Musician squad as we start off the last Playday of Grand Slam Galaxy Season 1. Musicians versus the Bows on DK Jungle. Final Playday of the regular season. Well, it's the final Playday of the regular season, but after this, we're in the playoffs, so it's not a Playday. It's the playoffs. Is that not how that term works? Thinking to myself, I'm sure it's fine. Alright, first off, of course, it'll be a long... I'm sorry, I didn't take the standings down. It'll be a very, very long path for the Bows through this game, but they managed pretty well. Tato grounds out, Funky Kong grounds out, Tiny Kong does find a nice line drive out to left field to be the first base hit, and just like that, Donkey Kong steps up to the field. Now, without any outfield synergy, every chance that Donkey Kong steps up to the plate is a terrifying one for the Bows. So any inning that they can navigate with him at the plate is a good one. Item interference now, letting Tiny Kong run, I think, all the way home. And just like that, a single from Donkey Kong. What a throw from Birdo, actually, damn. Just like that, off a single and some very confident base running from Tiny Kong, Donkey Kong brings in the first run of the game. Now Yellow Shy Guy has to face down Dixie Kong, who, listen, I diss on Dixie Kong quite a lot. She could be worse. Yellow Shy Guy, though, trying to keep Donkey Kong honest here. Dixie Kong does find a good hit out to left field, which will allow a runner on first and a runner on second. The Musicians are famous for their 2-out rallies, as their first run of the game is on a 2-out status. Now Captain Miku knocks it to the second base player. Birdo throws her out, and Captain versus Captain play ends the first inning and keeps the Musicians starting at a relatively slow pace. Now it's the Bows' turn to see what damage they can put up on the board. They've managed to keep the Musicians humble, going only 1 run in the most fearsome part of their lineup. But, well, if they want to be in this game, they've got to start putting runs on the board. Captain Birdo up to the plate now. We've seen the damage that she can do. Though it should be said, it feels like in Grand Slam Galaxy, a lot of these starred captains, Birdo, Daisy, we've seen big bombs from them at the start of the season, but as the season has gone on, Donkey Kong has been the only starred captain player who has like reliably been hitting these bombs, as shown by the Musicians very comfortably, bringing the Bows back out onto the field with a 3-up, 3-out inning. Now Tojima up to the plate. Very consistent slap hitter. I've really overemphasized, I think it's fair to say, the storyline of these Toads, and I think that they will be seen as incredibly valuable players heading into Season 2. Unfortunately for Tojima, he's just going to hit it right to right field, and Statler's going to pick that up for an out. Yellow Pianta, though, solid slap up to center field, does give him a single, and the Musicians have an offense going at the top of the second. But it's only in time for Light Blue Yoshi to come up, and with a very clean single up the middle, bring the Musicians back to a top of the order Tato. With a run on first, run on second, only 1 out. A charge hit from Tato tries to make a play, but the third baseman quickly turns the double. Quick throw from Yellow Magic Koopa, and good job keeping a hold of that ball. Shuts down the Musicians in the top of the second. They'll have a very dangerous batting order, of course, next inning. But before we get to that, the Bows have to show us that they have potential to score in this game. Well, of course, the Bows, I think the magic number for them has very often been 3. That tends to be their final score in a lot of the games, or at least it's the one I've internalized. So, with Yellow Magic Koopa knocking a single and Yellow Shy Guy facing down Tato, we'll see where they can get those 3 runs. A good... No. Yellow Shy Guy just barely not able to avoid the glove of YP. And that's a quick double play from the shortstop and Light Blue Yoshi to clear the bases. Blue Dry Bones. The Dry Bones might be my favorite player. The Bobbles from YP does let him reach first. Though, if you're a Musicians fan, you're thinking to yourself, okay, but they've got no real fierce batters. Gray Shy Guy pops it to YP to end the inning, and just like that, a minor bobble from YP cleaned up in the very next play to make sure that the Bows remain scoreless. Now, it's a hell of a gauntlet for Yellow Shy Guy as starting pitcher. Funky Kong, Tiny Kong, Donkey Kong. Home run stars. Last game he played in, Funky Kong hit 3 home runs, but he's caught out by Gray Shy Guy on a line drive above first base. That's a pretty good sign if you're a Bows fan. Deep hit from Tiny Kong. The item is there, but shouldn't come in time to stop this catch. No, Statler makes that one with ease. And Yellow's Shy Guy starting to feel a little bit tired. It's the wrong time to do it after Donkey Kong steps to the plate. He's going to try an inside curveball. It navigates its way past Donkey Kong's glove and puts the captain on 2. The slider is slapped out to left field, and Donkey Kong forced to settle for a single. And just like that, the Bows are in a good spot right now to keep the Kongs scoreless at the top of the 3rd, if they can keep them honest here. Dixie Kong with a runner on first, charges, makes good contact, and navigates her way past Birdo. Donkey Kong thinks better and is caught running back to second. A little bit more confidence, and I think he would have made it, but Birdo has a laser arm, and she manages to get that ball to second in the last possible 10th of a second, catching out the sub-captain Donkey Kong on a base running mistake, and ending the inning for the musicians. Just like that, the Bows now with a dangerous hitter, Dry Bones, at the plate, slaps it. That's a good single. Now Gray Shy Guy at the plate. Facing down Tato, he watches the first one. Pressure on the man in the mask to advance the runner, but he won't be able to do so as he pops it right to YP, who easily turns the double play to clear the bases and put the Bows at 2 outs. Yellow Yoshi. The Yoshis are not known to be excessively strong players. Yellow Yoshi does get a slap, but he's caught out by the tongue catch by Boshi the Rock, sealing that inning and keeping this a very, very low-scoring game. It'll have to be small ball for the musicians as Birdo is finally brought up to the mound at the top of the 4th, and the musicians have to face a very, very fine pitching captain with some very scary fastballs who are able to catch pitchers unaware. Suction ball as well, guarantees a strike 2. It'll keep Miku honest. Captain versus captain now. 2 strikes, the fastball from the inside caught by Miku, and she will nail that single. Good hitting from the, I almost called her a VTuber, Vocaloid. Tojima with a solid slap up the middle will get him a single, and small ball is exactly the name of the game for the musicians as their 8th batter, YP, steps up to the plate with a runner on first, runner on second, and no outs. Hits it deep though, and small ball is long gone as the bomb from YP brings in 3 more runs. You gotta respect these Piantas, I suppose. I really thought that they were just excellent slap hitters, but YP happy to prove me wrong and knock the first home run of this game. It's not a Kong, it's the Pianta. That'll put the musicians up 4-0, and with an excellent hit from Light Blue Yoshi out to right field for a double, keep them very honest in this game. Tato now back to the top of the order. She still has no outs against her team. Light Blue Yoshi is not in a lot of danger as he's alone on second, and Tato finds the line anyway to get her own double and allow Boshi to navigate all the way safely to home. Good hit from the Vocaloid. Well, no, not Vocaloid technically. Funky Kong says, Pianta, you're not in this alone, and drills his own bomb to bring Tato home, and just like that, we are off to the races. The musicians have come to play. They've woken up and realized, hey, they don't have chemistry in the outfield. I think it's rare to see any Pianta hit a bomb, and Birdo is already starting to get tired now as the Bows will have to rely on the classic rotate, rotate, rotate through the pitchers. Tiny Kong, that's a good single. The power block for intimidation as Donkey Kong steps to the plate against a tired Birdo. Suction ball from the captain. She wants to bait out these swings, and a good fastball from her can easily scrape over the plate before Donkey Kong is able to react, but she wants 2 strikes. She wants to keep him honest. No, she opts for a slider on the inside. It's caught by Donkey Kong, but caught just as well by Drybones at shortstop to turn the double play, clear the bases, and put the Musicians at 2 outs. Yellow Magic Koopa brought in relatively early from third base to try to steal this inning. It's a slow ball on the first pitch from Dixie Kong. She decides she doesn't want that. Amazing slider caught by Dixie Kong, but she grounds out to shortstop, and the Musicians will have to settle for only 6 runs in that inning. 6 runs off 2 home runs, and the Musicians have opened up this game. Captain Berto, we've known her to hit revenge home runs when given the opportunity, but it looks like a slap, a very high fly ball, and she'll be the first casualty at the bottom of the 4th. Statler now back up to the mound. Watches the curveball over the middle of the plate for the first pitch. Second pitch. Attempt on a fastball inside, but Statler catches it and hits it beautifully along the baseline. Unfortunately, not enough time for the man in yellow to reach second as Tiny Kong. Plenty of speed to go pick that up before it becomes a problem. So now we're up to Yellow Magic Koopa. Charging. Nails that ball deep into left field, but without item support. That's an easy fly ball catch by the Captain Miku. No bobble for a 2-run home run this time. Well, starting pitcher, Yellow Shy Guy, will try to extend this inning however he can. Runner on first, watches the first, swings on the second, but it's just straight to Boshi, the second baseman. As Yellow Shy Guy is caught out, grounds out, and the Bows are still scoreless heading into the 5th inning. They've got decent chances here. I mean, this is, to be fair, I think exactly where the Musicians were at the start of the last inning. So plenty of possibility for a repeat bomb from YP. But pending that, well, Miku hits a single, so history could be repeated here. Tojima up to the plate against Yellow Magic Koopa. Swing? No. Curveball is way too far outside to fool Tojima. Another attempt at a curveball, but this one, Tojima sees. Unfortunately for him, he's caught out by Drybones at shortstop, who turns the double play to first base and clears the bases. So even if YP hits a bomb, well, it's only going to be worth 1. Seeing that, YP settles for just a slap and a single. That leads us to the last batter in the rotation for the Musicians as Boshi steps up to the plate against Magic Koopa. But Yellow Shy Guy makes a super dive to snag that ball out of midair or teleport that ball into his glove. Perhaps the Shy Guys have mastered some sort of disintegration technology, and that'll keep the Musicians scoreless at the top of the 5th. Well, scoreless through the top of the 5th. They're still 7-0. Blue Drybones. Attempt at a left field hit caught out by the captain, Hatsune Miku. And now it's Blue Shy Guy up, who does look like Gray Shy Guy in this lighting. It doesn't help that it's nighttime. Slap hit up the third baseline, easily picked up by Funky Kong and turned over to first for another out. Drybones faces a 2-out hole and no runners on base. Slaps it straight up the middle, though. That'll be a good single. I'm not sure a Bose player... Has a Bose player touched second yet? Yeah, maybe? The line drive from Gray Shy Guy finds its way past Boshi. Not enough time to react from the Yoshi. And just like that, runner on first, runner on second for Yellow Yoshi at the top of the order. It's a weak slap. The power block is too early. If Boshi had thrown it to Tojima before that, or as that power block was thrown, good opportunity for all the Bose players to load the bases. But since all the runners are hit, all the fielders are hit, and Boshi holds on to that ball, it'll just be another scoreless inning for the Bose as we enter the top of the 6th and the top of the batting order for the Musicians. Tato finds the first hit with a good single. Funky Kong up. He's already hit 1 home run this game. Does he go for a second? Yellow Magic Koopa doing a good job of keeping themselves fresh here, but big challenge for him against Funky Kong. It's a slow ball on the inside, which Funky Kong opts not to swing on. Curveball now. Tried to sneak its way right over the middle of the plate. It's barely going to stay inside the park, though. And Gray Shy Guy turns that out to stop the superstar. Tato now watches the first slider. Second attempt, it's a curveball. She feels more confident, and that charge hit will go right up the middle and put a runner on first, runner on second for the sub-captain Donkey Kong. Confidence in his glove. Winds up. Watches the first one. Second pitch. Winds up on the curveball. Watches that ball swing past him. Almost a beanball. Next one. Another curveball. Settles for the slap out to left field. And it's more than enough to get the bases loaded. And as the musicians are about to enter a bunch of very dangerous slappers, once we get past Dixie Kong, who I will not stop insulting apparently. Dangerous news for the Bows. Magic Koopa in a hole. Dixie Kong with the star hit finds the swing out to right field. The power block is far too late. Oh no, and Dixie Kong caught out at first because of some poor base running decisions. Donkey Kong was stunned by the power block. Dixie Kong paid that no mind and tried to run to second, but Donkey Kong, stuck between a rock and a hard place, chose to stay on second instead of run to third, and that caught out Dixie Kong at first for the tag out. Just like that now. Well, it should be stated, the Bows still got a good run off that. 2 runners made it home off that hit. Donkey Kong will try to run home off this one and make it safely. That puts the musicians at 10-0 against these Bows. Captain Miku on first, not to be advanced by Tojima, as Tojima is caught out by a ground out to shortstop. Just like that, 3 more runs for the musicians. Dixie Kong doesn't deserve this. She's a crucial positional player, and she's a terrible batter. She's a great outfielder, but she's a great outfielder. Birdo, though, finally, that revenge home run comes in, bounces it off the pillar, and the Bows enter the scoreboard off the strength of a single shot homer from... What species is Birdo? The Birdo. Pow block not aimed correctly and allows Tojima to catch the ball, meaning that that batter, who I unfortunately did not see, is knocked out at first. Yellow Magic Koopa also grounds out to YP, and it looks like that revenge home run from the captain might be all the action we see this inning, unless Yellow Shy Guy can make something happen. Confident charge, but it goes foul. Next attempt, strike, as that ball is way too far away from his relatively short bat, but star hit is caught out by Funky Kong, who has the wherewithal to keep a grip on that ball and slides halfway down the field, but regardless, ends the inning for the Bows. They have won. Hey, if this game was in binary, this would be really close. That's so mean. Well, YP with a good single. There was a minor earthquake which stunned Gray Shy Guy, but YP is a very slow runner, is not able to capitalize, and I don't think she would have been caught out regardless. Now Boshi with a good hit out to right field also allows YP to advance to third off that single. So now it's runners on the corners, and an exhausted Blues Dry Bones has to face the top of the order. Tato now watches the slider come in, slaps it, doesn't escape the infield, but the double play still allows YP to reach home for another point for the Bows. Blue Dry Bones taken off the mound now. And the OG is slotted in. Dry Bones brought in to try to clean this up and try to avoid another devastating home run from the likes of Funky Kong. But he catches the slider. Will this go foul? Yes. Safely runs foul for Funky Kong. And Dry Bones tries a fastball. Funky Kong, I thought he wasn't going to get all of it, but it's more than enough. And that counts as a home run because it hit the pillar. So Funky Kong, off a technicality on the stadium, because if you hit that pillar, it's a home run, avoids the wall double, and nails another solo shot homer in this game. Now Tiny Kong up. Can she get a runner on base for Donkey Kong? With 2 outs, a mistake will end the inning. She's charging, but doesn't swing on that ball attempt from Dry Bones. Second pitch. Catches the outside of the plate. Fourth pitch. Did I say second pitch last time? Slapped by Dixie Kong for a good single out to right field. Donkey Kong faces down Dry Bones. He has a runner on first. The sub-captain has not managed to hit a bomb yet, and he would love it. These balls from Dry Bones might be a little bit too fast for him to catch out, but no. Solid contact, solid up the middle, and that is a 2-run homer for the man in the red tie. The ape in the red tie? The Kong in the red tie. Is there another Kong who wears a tie? No. I had to check. I had to think in my brain. That's a 2-run. It is a 14-1 scoreline against the Bows at the top of the 7th. And unfortunately for them, it looks like it's a 1-run season for the team in pink. Dixie Kong slaps that. Yellow Magic Koopa's not able to get under it, and that will allow the single. Now it's up to Captain Miku to keep this inning going with a run on first. Charges, hits it deep, and the captain replies to Birdo's bomb with a 2-run home run of her own. Captain Miku knocks one out of the park, and all the musicians are firing on all cylinders. It took a little while for them to warm up, but they are making the case here for why they are the 3rd place team in the league, and a very dangerous team for a lot of other teams to face. Yellow Yoshi's brought onto the mound from, I believe, first base? Yeah. Tojima now stares down 2 strikes, slaps it out to right field though. The Boo, I think, gave him enough time to reach first. It would have been close if Statler and Yellow Shy Guy were able to bring that ball into first before Tojima touched the sandbag, but no. It's a clean single on 2 outs. YP slaps the attempt at a curveball from Yellow Yoshi. That'll give us a run on first, run on second, as Boshi steps up to the plate. Starred slider, but Boshi catches that one. Doesn't matter though, it's straight to Blue. Dry Bone to shortstop for the 3rd out of the inning. And I finished my coffee, which is great for me because this was not good coffee. I screwed it up. Blue Dry Bones, bottom of the 7th, charges and nails it, but hits it too hard. So Dixie Kong, the positional player, and nothing else, catches that one. I'm just bullying Dixie Kong. I've decided that Dixie Kong is the player I want to bully, apparently. Oh well. As Dry Bones steps up to the plate against Tato. Watches the first one. Second pitch, charges again. Good contact right up the middle, but it won't escape the park, and that will end the inning. Pending a disastrous bobble from Dixie Kong, no. Inning is over. And entering the 8th, the Bows face a 15-run hole. As for the 3rd or 4th time this game, how many times this game had the musicians start the inning at the top of their order? I guess it's a good batting order for them if they always make it to the end. And then they're just set up. Funky Kong now with a runner on if he hits a bomb. Settles for a slap up the center field though. And that'll mean that we have a run on first, run on second for Tiny Kong. Yellow Yoshi, delicate position here, would love a double play off maybe an infield grounder from Tiny Kong, but as she charges it, that's not what he's going to get. No, that pop fly out to the right will be caught by Statler. Tato almost takes the opportunity to run to third, but thinks a lot better as Statler brings that ball in quick and keeps the play on second honest. So, Donkey Kong now, runner on first, runner on second, needs to think, can he get this 3-run home and bring the musicians up to 19? Line drive is ambiguous, but no. Stays in the park, the fireball disrupts Gray Shy Guy, and lets Tato run home. Funky Kong, a little bit of hesitation, but barely slides in to also reach it, and those 2 RBIs for Donkey Kong. 18-1 now. Only 1 out. Dixie Kong, though, with a solid hit to right field. That's a double for her. Runners on second and third with only 1 out is a great place to be for Captain Miku. A lot of slap potential in the second half of this musician's offense. But it looks like Miku wants another bomb after feeling very confident from that first one. No, she settles for a slap. It's a short fly ball that almost catches, is caught out. Excuse me. But after barely avoiding the short stop, that's a single from Miku to bring Donkey Kong home and put runners on the corners. Tojima, top of the 8th, only 1 out, charges. Good contact. This might, no. This stays in the park, goes foul. And Dixie Kong is not feeling the magic to try to use that as a sacrifice pop fly, which is fair from her. And we're still runners on the corners as YP comes up to bat. Slaps that one straight up the middle though. That'll allow Dixie Kong to touch home. And the single will put a runner on first and second. 2 out still as the 9th batter comes up. Statler is brought in to try to close out this game from right field. If Light Blue Yoshi, Boshi, gets knocked out, the musicians will start the 9th at the top of their batting order. They'll have rounded all 9 batters. Boshi, though, doesn't say he wants that. A boo plus excellent aim allows 2 RBIs for Boshi as both YP and Miku touch home. And just like that, it's 22-1 with 2 outs. And Tato says that it's time for another singing home run. No. Her ball barely falls in the park. It will allow Boshi to advance to home. But we are now in the 11th batter of this inning for the musicians. 23-1 scoreline. Funky Kong wants to keep this party going. No. No home run attempt. Just a starred line drive. The Gray Shy Guy keeps his glove on that one and ends the musician's inning. The Bows now. Anything is possible. 23-1 at the bottom of the 8th. Gray Shy Guy up first. Charges. It's a good line drive for a single. All they need to do is repeat that play 25 more times. A bunt, though, from Yellow Yoshi, assisted by a boo, will let the bunt progress, and a single off the bunt is a rare sight to see in Grand Slam Galaxy. Birdo charges it. Birdo nails it. It's not strong enough to get out of the park, but after bouncing off the roots, it will allow Gray Shy Guy to advance home. And Birdo so far is responsible for both runs for her team, off an RBI and a homer. It should be said the Bows now have runners on the corners and no outs in this inning. Statler, the relieving pitcher, brought up to face Tato. Attempted a curveball. Boshi is not able to find it, but the double play as Boshi is able to find it. The green shell doesn't stop Boshi, and Boshi and YP turn the double play to stop Statler from reaching first. It does still allow the runner on third to score, and just like that, the Bows have reached their quota. 23-3, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Yellow Shy Guy now, facing down Tato. Attempted a ball on the inside, but Boshi snags that one out, throws out Yellow Shy Guy at first. And the musicians enter the top of the 9th with a 20-run lead. If they want to make history, they can. The highest scoring game in Grand Slam Galaxy was, I believe, 32-3 versus the Bows in Playday 3 or 4. Playday 3, 32-3, Monarchs versus Bows. So, if they're able to surpass last inning, which is already devastating, well, they're on their way there. Donkey Kong, his last question mark plate appearance of the game will be a 2-run homer, driving Tiny Kong in. So that'll now make it 25-3 for the Musicians. No outs on the board, no runners on the field, and Dixie Kong is also firing on all cylinders as she hits her own single with a good pop to shallow center field. Captain Miku wants to keep this magic going, but she will ground out to Blue Drybone to allow him to turn the double play, and it will need to be 2-out magic from the Musicians. They want this one. Statler, slow ball right down the middle of the plate and taken advantage of by Tojima. That's a run on first for YP, as the inning could end at any moment, but not yet. YP with a solid slap hit. A little bit of hesitation from Yellow Yoshi, doesn't let him take advantage immediately, and we have runners on the corners for Boshi the Rock, holding down that 9th in the batting order spot. Can Boshi keep this inning going from the Musicians, or will this be their last at-bat of the regular season? It will be. Boshi grounds out to second base, and the Musicians will have to settle for 25 runs heading out of this game. I believe I grabbed my toy butterfly knife like it was my mouse there. I believe that is good enough for the Musicians, where they will now have the highest. They'll be tied for the highest run differential with the Monsters, who haven't played yet. Actually, no. Excuse me. They'll be at 50 run differential, so they'll be tied with the Monarchs for second. If they shut down the Bows, which they do so excellently off that double play, as Gray Shy Guy knocks it to YB at shortstop. Dry Bones, the possible last at bat for the Bows, knocks it out to left field, and Captain Miku ends the regular season for her team with a beautiful jump catch to shut down Dry Bones. Poetic finish to the Musician season. Poetic finish to the Bows season, as their home run attempt is caught out by the Chemistry outfield. And the Musicians clean this one up. 25-3. Simple and clean Playday to start. Simple and clean game to start the final Playday of Season 1. MVP honors, I presume Donkey Kong, of course, yes, with a couple of home runs. Another complete game by Tato, fair enough. The Musicians really teased the Bows with a slow start, I would say, only getting one run at the start and then going quiet for a couple of innings. But after the 4th hit, yeah, that game was gone. Absolute offensive domination for them as they finally cracked open the Bows pitching rotation, and the Bows just had no way to respond. Excellent play by the Musicians. We won't dally on this too long, but I will point out now that the Musicians have secured themselves 3rd place. Going into the playoffs, well, the Bows have officially been eliminated, but we salute the team that set so long throughout Season 1 of Grand Slam Galaxy. Delightful team to see. I'm sad to see them go. I actually feel a little pain in my heart now. I'm a little bit sad I will be able to commentate a Bows game despite everything. Good attempt from Birdo. She is seemingly lost after a very good performance in the Winter CPU Classic with her co-captain Yoshi. She tries to strike out on her own, and the team, lacking a little bit of leadership, not able to pull through, and only scores 1 win in the season. So, that's a shame. But for the Musicians, a very promising offseason if they're able to keep this magic going. Donkey Kong, ever since he received star power, has been the slugger to beat in the league. Him and Hammer Bro basically going back and forth for arguably the MVP of the league. Maybe inarguably the MVP of the league. Good attempt from the Bows, but they are completely stopped by the Musicians. So, with that, the Musicians have secured themselves third place, and we'll head to a very interesting game. The Rookies versus the Spitballs on Wario City Day. Now, as a reminder, as a treat, I would like to welcome, for their second time commentating in this season, the Rookies home commentator. Welcome to the booth, Kai. Oh, you're very quiet. Let me turn you up. You're too quiet, actually.
There we go. There we
Okay.
go. I forgot to set my gain. That's my bad. Not the first time. Almost first time in the commentator's booth. Don't know how to set my mic properly.
Well, that's fair enough. Welcome to the commentator's booth. A very interesting possibility for the Rookies, as if they're able to win this game and the Monsters lose, or if they're able to outscore the Monsters by at least 8, possibility for them to snag first in the league. Do you want to do a quick retrospective on the Rookies' journey through this season real quick before we get into this game?
I would be happy to. Let me actually pull up. Why don't I have this ready already? Yeah, I'll do it without. The Rookies team started off with a very rough start, a disappointing start, you could say, with a mega loss to the Musicians. It was very disappointing to see as the brand new team that they were, but after taking a long look at things and figuring out the best path forward, it seems that we have found truly the best path forward, and the team has been nearly unstoppable since then. Lots of highs to look back on and appreciate the wins that have come along the way, as well as some sobering losses, a couple. Last grouping being one of them against your very own team.
We don't gotta talk about that game anymore. Don't worry about it. Boo lost his star power privileges after that series, actually. Funnily enough. Let's cover the Spitballs, though. Spitballs have been they've had a very struggling start to this season, appearing to be possibly one of the teams fighting for contention, but a strong last couple of series have secured them a playoff spot. If they're able to beat the Rookies today, not only will it make quite a statement heading into the playoffs, but it will secure them that 500 win record. They currently sit at 6-7. I'm sure they would love to secure themselves an even win-loss heading into the playoffs. So, spoiler opportunity from the Spitballs, and an opportunity for the Rookies to seal the deal heading into the playoffs. The Spitballs get home field advantage, but bring us to Warrior City, which is quite a slugging time. We'll see whether or not their Spitballs defense is able to hold up against the Rookies' onslaught as we head in to Game 2 of Playday number 14. Right after I finished double checking, because I was stalling to double check, but I realized I didn't actually double check the...
And then once you're done double checking, can you share the stream on Discord, please?
Yeah. What do you mean? You're sitting next to me in the stadium. We sprinted over. The reason why we have to talk in between games is because we're in the middle of sprinting from commentary booth to commentary booth. Fun fact, we don't have a broadcast station. We just run from stadium to stadium. Rookies versus Spitballs on Playday number 14. Ooh. Yeah. Aw. It's a beautiful day. We almost had all day fields, which would have been very bemusing to me, but the pick of DK Jungle Knight from the Bows stopped us from having a bright future. a deep hit from Bowser Jr. to start this game, but he'll be caught out on the pop fly. Probably, though. Basically just a watch out Spitballs statement from the captain. What do you think about like the politics of the rookies actually heading into the postseason for them? I know that they're a very jacket-heavy team, the most jacket-heavy team of the league.
That certainly has been one of the largest things to have been talked about as far as what my ear hears. But as it bears out on the field, it has proven very advantageous. There's a lot of chemistry, synergy that can be garnered up with such a heavy-handed Jersey team, and it seems to have worked out for them so far, and we're all hoping that it'll continue through the postseason.
Well, in the clubhouse, I know that the rookies kind of shifted around. They had probably the biggest splash of a trade during this season, as they traded for Brown Critter and I believe from the Flowers. And that really led to the current formation as Critter bobbles a routine play and allows the water to reach first.
That bobble honestly was kind of advantageous because it sent it right to the left fielder instead of having to take the hit from the shell there.
Regardless, Hammer Bro will wind in that attempt to blast it past him with the hammer throw catch. And both the rookies and Spitballs' first inning are stopped by a double play. Sorry, I was asking questions about jacket politics in the clubhouse. Do you think as Cookie grounds out and star batter Hammerbow, arguably the best batter in the league against Waluigi, grounds out to shortstop on his first show. Okay. Well, looks like maybe this game will start slow. We did see the musicians start slow last game, so maybe a lot of teams a little bit nervous heading into the final Playday. Especially pressure on the Spitballs here as they want that 500 record. Actually, no. Probably more pressure on the rookies as they would love to secure top seed heading into the playoffs.
There's been some rumors around from the general manager of the rookies desperately grasping for anything that can get them that first spot. Very jealous won that.
Well, they'll have to avoid some good slap hitters from the Spitballs at the bottom of the second. Wiggler, Reggie, the captains Wario, and Waluigi will be up after that. Opportunities from the Spitballs to try to put some pressure on the starting pitcher, Cookie. Who was it? Did Cookie pitch a full game last week? Isn't she tired?
No. I don't believe she pitched a full game. Although my memory is not perhaps the best. Dangerous position for the rookies to be in here, though, with runners on the corners.
Yellow Toad, the transplant from the musicians, who we saw just last game. Toadjima has fit so well on the musicians. Yellow Toad, I think, has done pretty well on the Spitballs, and the slap out to right field will net the first run of this inning, but is traded for an out at first, as the right fielder of and Hammerbro bring that ball in very, very quick. Still, I gotta imagine the Spitballs are happy here, as another good single from Miyamoto. A little bit of field interference too lets Reggie try to run and make it home, and the Spitballs are the ones to really open up this game, getting a 2-0 lead at the bottom of the second.
A strong throw from Hammerbro to home, but not in time to catch the runner out. It was well safe at the home plate.
Wario, good slap sync. God, that... Oh my god. Every single time I see the rookies bring a ball in from the outfield, it is terrifying. Slap from Waluigi caught out, though batters are smart enough to stay at their bases and avoid a double play, but still. Now we're back to
a zombie walk up to the plate.
A little bit. He also does a zombie run to first off that single, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Wada. We can probably expect Cookie to be retired relatively early in this game. She might be feeling a little bit of pressure this late. She's bailed out by Hammerbow, making a jumping catch as Wada tries to hit it out to right field, though. And
Spitball's making a statement by trying to bomb Hammerbro after the catch is made.
Hey, listen, I've been keeping my eye on the Blood Bowl League recently. And let me tell you, any additional injury you can inflict on a player is a good time in that league. Maybe less so in this family-friendly Nintendo-sponsored league. But it doesn't matter as Waluigi strikes out Brown Critter.
Not what you want to see from the rookies. Not at all.
Who do you think will be the first rookie to nail a home run? It has to be Hammerbro, right?
Hammerbro certainly is the obvious choice, especially being the starred player for the team. If it isn't Hammerbro, then I have to imagine it would be one of the critters, probably Green Critter.
Ooh, the bobble from Reggie. Jeez. Thankfully, a little bit of chemistry. He bobbles it, but knows to at least knock it. Trusts Yellow Toad to pick that one up quickly. The runners don't get an extra base off it, but still, pressure obviously showing in these Spitballs.
Absolutely.
Another bobble from Wiggler. 2 bobbles in a row.
That'll send Brock home and Bowser Jr. to first base.
John Cena.
No, that's John Cena.
Yeah. Brock reaches first. Bowser Jr. reaches third. So it's runners on the corners for only 1 out and very good
guess
opportunity.
Who's at the base?
Is it Brown Critter?
No, it's Green Critter.
Oh, I was gonna make a joke. A good home
and what
run
do you
attempt.
know? Oh my God! Is it caught? It is caught. No, the home run is denied.
Still, though, the sacrifice from Critter lets Bowser Jr., the captain, run home, and just like that, immediately, the rookies tie up this game. They have plenty of opportunity to do even more. Should this next batter from the rookies, Cookie, reach base and give Hammerbro 2 runners on? No, she's caught out by Wiggler, though. Hammerbro will have to start off the next inning, and the Spitballs will need to lay on some damage if they want to gain this lead back.
Cookie is still strong at the start of this inning, which is what you want to see.
She definitely
starting out with a strike.
She definitely has a very good history of having a lot more stamina than Waluigi, which gives arguably the rookies a decent pitching advantage in this game, especially when Blooper grounds out. You need big hits from the Spitballs to chip through Cookie's morale. Decent plays like that single from Mr. Consistency to get a runner on first. Reggie now at the plate. Reggie grounds out to Hammerbow, and that double play will allow the inning to end. So it's a very quick inning for the Spitballs. No damage able to be done for them. And now pressure is on. Does Waluigi get taken off the mound? No, he faces down Hammerbow yet again and has to shut down this home run hitter. No, though, it's a drilled shot straight up the middle. And after a rough first batting session, the star is back, and Hammerbro knocks that bomb straight out of the park.
It's exactly what you want to see from the rookies. Strong defense in the last half inning to make sure that the Spitballs don't get any runs, and start off with a strong start on this half inning.
All right, Wario now brought in to be the relieving pitcher. He's trying to trick out Bouncer and make him swing on nothing with 2 curveballs touching either side of home plate or dodging both sides of home plate. They attempted the throw straight down the middle. Bouncer was waiting for that one and slaps it for a single. It's now Another bobble from Wiggler in a key moment lets 2 runners on for Brown Critter, who is another home run power hitter.
Lots of misplays from Wiggler this inning alone. Unsure where this is coming from, but the rookies will take it with another strong hit from Brown Critter for a 3-run home run. Look at that.
Oh, no. Yeah, absolute bombs are always available from the rookies. When you have a batting core of Hammerbro, Critter, and Brown Critter, Warrior City is your playground. John Cena to keep the inning going, but Wiggler turns that out at least. It would only be a 4-2 game if Wiggler didn't bobble that double play opportunity. So now you gotta worry if he'll face even more pressure, especially when the team returns to the dugout. Waluigi and Wario have a talk with that player.
Easy single for Bowser Jr.
Now it's Brock, who will have to try to load the bases yet again for Green Critter and allow another home run. Another bobble from Reggie. I mean, he wouldn't have turned the out regardless, but what is going on with these Spitballs? They cannot keep their hands on the ball. Maybe a little bit of extra spin on it would let them get a better grip as Green Critter knocks that ball right to left field. The sewer grate interferes with Yellow Toad right when he needs it. He definitely would have made it in time if it wasn't for that. And that means that all 3 hitters, all 3 sluggers for the rookies in 1 inning hit huge bombs and give them a 9-2 lead.
Cookie up to bat next, facing down Wario. Decides to not swing.
For a second there, I thought she was going to go full axolotl and swing like a minute after that ball passed the plate. Another bobble? What is going on with these Spitballs?
I'm upset that I know exactly what you're talking about with that.
Okay. Cookie kept honest at first. Hammerbro has a chance to do something that few batters are able to do and hit a second home run in the same inning. The attempt...
Don't hold your breath. Oh, there it is. It's clear. What a shot. I thought for sure that was going to be caught out with the buddy jump, but it was just too late. It sneaks past, and that's another home run.
Yeah,
Wario brought off already in the same inning, is it not, as Waluigi being brought off? Or was that last inning?
No, that was this inning.
Wow. So 2 pitching changes in 1 inning for the Spitballs then. Bunt from Ohoho. Sorry, Ohoho.
She has item support, so feeling confident, but with 2 strikes on, she will not go for a third bunt. Star pitch attempt from Miyamoto to try to catch her out, but she just hits it straight to Wiggler, who turns the double play. Devastation.
Finally, the Spitballs get out of that inning after 9 runs scored by the rookies.
Yep. Well, considering that the rookies needed to outscore the Monsters by 8, and considering that they're currently lapping the bases against the Spitballs, unless we see a late-game Spitballs comeback, yeah, the rookies are the team to beat heading into the postseason. Maybe it's too early to call that. It's only the 4th inning, but devastating 4th inning as Miyamoto does a bunt. It allows Yellow Toad to advance to second, but the attempt at a boo play does not allow him to reach first. And Wario, star hit to disrupt this defense, but he hits it foul, so it won't matter much. He'll have to settle for the slap up the middle for a single to put runners on the corners with 1 out for the Spitballs. Waluigi, who got caught out so easily last, attempted an at-bat now.
As we get on in the innings, this could be dangerous for the rookies. Cookie not showing strong signs of being tired, but it could happen, but not this instance as Waluigi is caught out by Brown Critter.
Well, considering Cookie is the starting pitcher for the rookies, it would take a disastrous series of pitching moments for the rookies to be in that bad of a situation as Green Drybones pops it to center field following the path of his captain. And the Spitballs are kept scoreless at the bottom of the fourth. And the rookies immediately are right back to slugging chances. Even though it's Wario City, with the absolute laser home runs that this team has hit before, I'm not sure. Okay, Brown Critter's home run was off Sewer Great intervention.
True.
And he does fly out to right field. So, chance for the Spitballs to try to seal this game back up and start inching their way back. It'll take a hell of a comeback, but hey, knocking out Brown Critter, knocking out John Cena with that ground out to second base, that's a start.
Now facing Bowser Jr., who does make it past the infield and makes it on base with a strange throw to get the ball over to first, letting Bowser Jr. get there safely.
Wario he was ready to pick that ball up after it bounced, but not paying attention to his own field's tricks as it lands right on an arrow and allows it, Brock and Bowser, to reach second and third off of what would have just been a single. Green Critter charges it. Hustle needed from Reggie. Gets there.
Time.
Oh!
That'll end the inning crucially saving a home run, a 3-run home run. We'll see how the Spitballs can do on offense yet again, now that they've stopped the rookies from scoring any.
It should be said, the only players, I was checking because I wanted to make sure that Yellow Toad didn't have the super jump ability. The only players who have that super jump ability, the only players who would be able to stop those super high home run attempts are, let's see, Luigi, Baby Luigi, as a slap from Blooper will let Iwata reach third. Nice batting from the Spitballs to immediately put runners in the corners. Excuse me, I'll finish this point quickly. Luigi, Baby Luigi, Green Paratroopa, Paragoomba, Paratroopa, and that's it. That's it? That's it.
Not many.
Slap from Wiggler, Mr. Consistency, assisted by a Boo.
Although the ball landed on an arrow which took it right into Brown Critter's hands. So not too much loss there with the Boo usage.
Still, excellent. I mean, yeah, basically. I think the Boo and the arrow basically balanced each other out there.
Kind of, yeah. They might have been picked up a little earlier, but, you know.
Reggie finds that hole between center and left field. Brown Critter smartly goes for the buddy throw to try to defeat this green shell, but Wiggler drives through to make sure that they're safe on third. And just like that, another runner batted in for the Spitballs. Runners on the corners. Blooper touches home. And incredible opening to this inning as I'm almost a little bit distracted. Apologies. Drives Cookie off the mound and brings Bowser Jr. to face down the Spitballs.
Some strong item use as well to help the Spitballs get these chances into successful plays. Now, with bases loaded.
Bases loaded, no outs, 2 runs already this inning. Miyamoto just needs to keep this going to get the captains Wario and Waluigi up. Good contact, but Green Critter will catch it, and that'll be a double play. One more run does touch home for Wario, but a lot of the batters cleared off, and there's only a runner on third now. Slap can't evade the hammer catch. Hammer throw catch, excuse me.
And that is why Hammer Bros on the field. Plays like that are critical to help close out these innings and get back to the offensive zone that the rookies want to be, especially on this field.
The Bros are definitely known for absolutely incredible catches, just shutting down a whole area around them with that hammer throw, fire throw, and boomerang throw catching abilities. Hammer Bro knocks it deep again, and it's way too high for Reggie and Yellow Toad to stop it. It's way too high for anyone to stop it. Another home run, though it's a solo bomb for the Hammer Bro.
Just out of the reach of Toad there, Yellow Toad.
Now the rookies enter the back half of their batting rotation. Bouncer grounds out. I was going to make a joke about how much weaker it is with, checks my notes, Brown Critter. But, hey, as Bouncer grounds out, it's 2 outs now, and Miyamoto has a chance to try to shut this down. I just realized also that because Miyamoto is at the plate and Wario is out in right field, that means that there's no chemistry in right field for the Spitballs.
That is absolutely correct. And Brown Critter, not quite taking advantage of that, but, leaning that way just ever so little bit.
John Cena, runner on first, runner on second. 2 outs, but he's caught out by Blooper, who dives to make that catch. And while they'll be back at the top of the order, it's only a 1-run bomb from Hammer Bro for the rookies this inning. So the Spitballs, if they can get back to that incredible slapping start they had last inning, could try to narrow this gap now. Bowser Jr. senses that and wants to stop it with a star pitch. Finally, for the first time this game, the captain, Waluigi, doesn't hit it too far and knocks a good single out to left field. Top of the order now. Another good single from Green Drybones. There's a mild bobble from Brown Critter. The first
it looked like he slapped it with his glove over to the right fielder.
Well, that's what happens when Azawada actually finds the perfect hole for that ball, narrowly avoiding the range of Hammer Bros. The Spitballs have loaded the bases. I was going to talk about when you trust your players, you can sort of feel that moment when you're like, I don't have this ball, and knock it over to another player that you trust to make the play. As Blooper finds the hole in the outfield, it'll be a laser throw to home, but it's not enough to catch out Green Drybones. And just like that, the first 4 batters of the inning for the Spitballs drive 2 runners home, 2 players on the corners, no outs so far. And this slapping offense from the Spitballs might just be able to catch up to the rookies if they're able to keep up this level of play.
A strong hit from Wiggler through the star pitch by Bowser Jr. Gets
going
a
home.
Double on the board. Blooper
Inks?
just makes it home.
Is that a biohazard? Blooper doesn't actually knock away the opposing player when he slides into a base. No, he just sprays ink all over them like we're playing Mario Kart to stop the tag. I didn't know that's how that worked. And might I say, gross.
It certainly is a bit rude, if I might say. Bowser Jr. getting tired, but strikes. Well, that's not the right words. Throws a strike, throws 2 strikes, and a star pitch on the 3rd pitch.
Reggie makes
Foul.
good contact but drives a foul. Very good attempt from Bouncer on 3rd base to catch that one out, but no. Reggie will have to settle for advancing Wiggler to 3rd. Was that Reggie? That was Reggie.
Here is some danger as the rookies move beyond their second pitcher, swapping in Hammer Bro at 2nd base.
I said it would take so much for the rookies to be in a bad pitching part of their rotation, but after the Spitballs delivered 2 showcase slapping innings back to back, and Yellow Toad brings in Wiggler for another run to make this a 2-run game, Well, that disaster has happened. It should be said that they still have full synergy in their outfield, so no real worries for them on that side yet.
That is very key. Outfield synergy has been one of the strongest parts of the rookies' fielding. It'll be sad to not have Hammer Bros catch ability at second stop, as it is so often used, but catching, who is that, out at second base after Green Critter bobbles the ball in the infield.
Yeah, that was, oh my god, there's so much to talk about there that I didn't even, take the time to realize which runner that was. The bobble leading to a runner touching home, but the runner on second getting confused. Critter cleans it up next inning to catch it out, but just like that, especially off that bobble, the Spitballs have fired back to make this a one-run game after getting blown up at the top of the fourth. They're back in this one.
Spitballs do need to be commended for their offensive power in the later stages of this game, bringing themselves back into this. It is a worrying sight for the rookies.
Now, they still have the advantage, the rookies, and especially with a good hit from Brock out to right field, allowing Bowser Jr. to reach third. They've adapted this strategy almost and put runners on the corners with no outs. It looks like this is a slap-happy field as there ever will be, as Critter knocks it up to center. Yellow Toad not able to find the ball, allows Brock to advance all the way to third. Almost tries to run home, but thinks a little bit better of it. And that is a one-run batted in, and runners on the corners maintained for the rookies with no outs in this inning. Miyamoto is starting to look tired. He needs to force some sort of weak hit from Cookie here, something that will allow a double play, but Cookie just drills it up the center.
Oh, but that's going to catch Critter out because of the POW block, also hurting Critter. Not what you want to see from the rookies' plays.
The rookies now have no synergy in the outfield. Yellow Toad brought in from center field to pitch. It means that no synergy, any home run caliber hit from the hardest hitting team in the league will be a home run. Hammerbo with a chance for a third one this game takes advantage. Oh, they do have synergy. I'm sorry.
Also, it's Spitballs, not rookies.
Yes, please excuse me. They actually repaired, while they lost synergy in left field, they brought synergy back in right field. It doesn't matter though, as a starred Hammerbow is the best slugger
force
in
to
the
be
game.
reckoned with.
The charge power from Hammerbow, juiced up by that starred conditioning. The focus pays off in droves for the rookies, as that big home run now brings them back to a 5-run lead versus the Spitballs. Oh yeah, technically, as Wiggler catches, catches out her hit and ends the inning. Technically, if Reggie is brought into pitch from left field, as Silver Lily points out, they could get back to full synergy in the outfield. All right, Spitballs back at the top of their order. Deep hit from Green Drybones with no item support. This should be an easy catch, and it is.
A nice slow high ball allows Brown Critter to get over in time to make the buddy catch.
Fair play from John Cena and Brown Critter. Now it's Iwata up. Facing down Hammerbow on the mound. Knocks a good single up the center to at least get a runner on. Plenty of time still for the Spitballs to put some damage on this inning. They definitely have to with so little time left.
And especially if they can work entire through Hammerbro on the mound, then who knows where the next pitcher is going to come from, and undoubtedly some synergy is going to be disturbed.
Blooper and Iwata reach runners on the corners, and Mr. Consistency is up at the plate to bring in the batter from third. Slap caught out by Critter, though, who turns the double play. And just like that, the Spitballs are denied a run. in the bottom of the 7th, and at best, they'll need to score 5 in 2 innings to get back into this game. I say at best because Brown Critter charges, nails it. There's no synergy in left field anymore, and unless this one just stays inside the park, which it does.
What a catch! And with the direct hit from the power block, taking out one of the Miis, the jerseys, the other one is still around to make the catch rather than both being knocked out.
I should say that's a hero play, actually, from Reggie, as he dashed and knocked away that power block, giving Miyamoto the space that he needed to make that catch. Excellent. Excellent play from the Jackets in the outfield.
After the encouraging sign of making sure the Spitballs don't get any runs in the last at-bat, the rookies are asking questions about what is happening to their offense as they are struggling to make any headway in the 8th.
Well, they still have a 5-run lead. Their offense
absolutely.
could probably take a nap, but it doesn't look like it will just yet. Brock does hit into the double play, and an attempt at loaded bases turns into an empty top of the 8th inning. Now the Spitballs. 5 runs to make up. They've done it in 1 inning before, scoring 6 in the bottom of the 6th inning. But first attempt at an at-bat, star throw from Hammerbro. Critter dives to make the catch. That's a pretty good sign for the rookies. Deep hit from Yellow Toad here, but it stays inside. Oh my god!
No, it does not. It is just out. Brown Critter not able to get over in time to help make the out. Too short to make the catch.
I think Brown Critter thought that was staying inside the park. We've seen people in the outfield hesitate before when they think, yeah, my partner's got it. That's inside the park. But that was so ambiguous that it allows Yellow Toad to steal a home run and put one up on the board for the Spitballs. Though with another player fouling out, Wario hits it not very ambiguous, and Brown Critter hustles this time to make the buddy catch. That means that's only 1 for the Spitballs, and if they can shut down the rookies, which is a big if, they'll still need 4 in the bottom of the 9th.
And I do have to stress that the players have been made well aware of their general manager's desires to clinch first in the overall standings. They do feel the pressure to make some offensive plays here still. With Green Critter starting off the play here, that seems to be a good start to the inning, and it is a clean home run from Critter.
Yeah, no. Absolutely monstrous batting potential from the rookies. Again, ever since they trade, easily the strongest batting team of this league by far. They'll get back that 5-run home lead. Sorry, 5-run lead like it was nothing. And Cookie knocks a good single to get on base and sets up an opportunity for Hammerbo. Hammerbo has only failed to hit a bomb while at the base once. His first at-bat, he grounded out. Ever since then, every at-bat has been a homer. This might not be high. Nope, that's too high. Okay, literally every single at-bat for Hammerbo besides the first one was a home run. Literally every single one besides the first at-bat for Hammerbro was a home run. There's no doubt anymore. He is the strongest home run hitter in this league.
And it tires out the pitcher for the Spitballs, bringing in Green Dry Bones.
Bouncer grounds out, so it's the first out against the rookies in this inning, but they've already given themselves a 7-run lead. We'll try to get a runner on for Brown Critter. But no, she'll ground out 2, and it looks like after that statement run, maybe... Oh my god, this could be another inning where all 3 of the big sluggers from the rookies hit home runs if Brown Critter makes contact here.
It's a good-looking start.
No, that one's foul.
It's slow. It's foul. It might be out. It is out.
Okay. The Spitballs need to outperform. They had magical bottom of the 5th and bottom of the 6th innings, but they need to outperform both now and score 7 in 1 inning. It starts with the captain, Waluigi. Slaps it out to left field. That's a single, and that's the story of the Spitballs offense this game. It's small ball. It's just rounding the bases over and over and over again, which is impressive against a team with Hammer Bro on it. But no, Critter barely catches the hit from Green Drybones, clears the bases, and they need 7 with 2 outs on the board. Fastball from Hammer Bro.
Star hit. Very fast.
Diving catch from Critter ends the game. Hammer Bro, honestly, does an incredible job of being a relieving pitcher. Shuts down the red-hot Spitballs. The rookies, well, they can't reach first by run differential. They'll do it by win-loss or not at all, as they beat the Spitballs by 7 in an absolutely powerhouse hitting game.
Absolutely. A bit of a scare in the middle there for the rookies, as the game was brought very close together on the scoreboard, but in the end, the rookies managed to claw their lead back up and win the game.
Honestly, pretty solid play by the rookies, keeping their heads cool. A lot of other teams would be incredibly intimidated. I mean, you have that inning number 4 where literally everyone hits bombs, and the Spitballs answer back by hitting 9 in 2 innings to make it a 1-run game. Like, an incredible attempt from the Spitballs, but they won't hit that 500 mark. The rookies do, for a time, have number 1 in the league, but since they've won by 7, and since their run differential was down by 8, the run differential totals 52, the Monsters' run differential totals 53, so if the rookies want first in this league, the Monsters need to lose this second game against the Monarchs, who, of course, the Monarchs, I cannot overstate, kind of showed the Monsters up last Playday. Before we get to that, though, let's talk about the rookie stat lines. Looking at the box score for the Spitballs first, as they were the losing team. Honestly, their slap hitters came up so huge here. Blooper having an incredible game, earning MVP honors for his team with great diving catches, great at-bat slap hits when they need it. I should say there were a couple of times there where Blooper was a key part of those magical 4th and 5th innings, keeping his players running around the base. But it should be a surprise to anyone that Yellow Toad was actually the biggest hitter for the Spitballs. Maybe not as big a surprise as, Yellow Toad also got MVP honors in terms of score, hitting 150. But maybe not as big a surprise for anyone. After all, if you're going to have a small ball game, of course a Toad would lead the team. But overall, pretty solid performance from the Spitballs. Kai, what do you think of this rookie's performance?
I mean, Hammer Bro undoubtedly the MVP, scoring so many of the runs, as well as being a very strong pitcher to round out the game for the rookies. Great performances from the Critters, of course. And the jerseys, well, they could have done better, but, you know, it's what can you do? When you have the strong batters in the Critters and Hammer Bro, it's about all you can ask for in the end.
Listen, no sweat off their brow. After all, someone needs to get on base to bring in extra runs when these extra sluggers knock balls so firmly out of the park. Kai, thank you, of course, for joining me to commentate the last game of your rookie season. And why don't you give me a quick comment? What do you think is the focus of the rookies as they head with a bye, no matter what, into this postseason?
Well, first of all, it's been a pleasure to join you here in the commentary box. I wish I could have joined more throughout the season, but as it goes, that's how it is. As for the postseason, the rookies, they seem more impenetrable in this first half of the season, sans the first game. In the second half of the season, especially these past few play days, they have been a lot more mortal, if you will, in terms of their strength and their winning potential. They have been very close and sometimes beaten by several of the other teams in these past few play days, and so the rookies need to figure out how to stop those sorts of situations from coming up and making sure that they can, as best as they can, return to the domination that they were experiencing throughout the first half of the season.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the rookies for the excellent game. We're ready to get into game number 3 of the Playday. Unless, of course, Kai wants to stay on and commentate with my other co-commentator. Silver Lily joins us. Welcome to the game, Silver Lily. Welcome to the commentator's box.
Hello, Willie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. We've got a fascinating way to end this series, as the best I can hope for as commissioner is that we reach Playday 14, and 3 of the games are very interesting and matter quite a lot for the landscape heading into the playoffs. So I'm quite happy to see this. Kai, of course, stuck out, so I will thank them again for their time. It was lovely. But Silver Lily, we're heading into game number 3 of this Playday as the Monsters look for desperate revenge versus the Monarchs.
That indeed we are, and they are also looking to try and secure their first place spot. With that win by the rookies, it is now on the Monsters to win this game. If they win it at all, they will have a high enough run differential to stay in first place. But if they lose it, they drop below the rookies in record 10-4 to the rookies 11-3. The Monarchs, this game does not actually matter for their position. If they win, they cannot surpass the Musicians' record. If they lose, they cannot drop below the Spitballs record. So the Monarchs here are mostly looking to play spoiler to the Monsters' bids at first place.
All right. I mean, it'll be a hell of a statement to them, because if they can win this game, they will have the highest run differential, unless they win by like 1. They will have the highest run differential if they can win by 3 or more heading into this postseason, as it should be said, as it stands right now. After they played 14 games, the rookies plus 52, the Musicians plus 50. Having played 13 games, the Monarchs are at plus 50 and the Monsters are at plus 53. So if the Monsters win this game, they'll end this season with first place, 11-3, highest run differential. If the Monarchs win this game, they'll be in 4th, but with the highest run differential of any team in this league. So pressure's on for them. As I double check all the players, you will note, of course, that the Monsters have swapped up their batting rotation yet again. Silver Lily, what do you think of the Monarchs' consistency versus the Monsters' experimentation? What do you think are the odds for both of these teams heading into today's game on Monsters' home field advantage of DK Jungle Day?
Honestly, Billy, I think this game could go either way, and we've seen that from these teams before. Their score last time these two teams played, was a 6-3 game in favor of the Monarchs. That was low scoring for both of these teams. As you noted, they have some of the highest run differentials in the league, while having not finished out their regular season yet. The Monsters hold the highest while still only having played 13 games, compared to the next highest, the rookies, at 52, having played 14. Both of these teams have fantastic offensive potential. the Monarchs are known for their well-constructed defense, with their bro-based infield and their toad-based outfield that continues to work through at least usually two pitcher swaps. Toadsworth always swaps for Peach, which sends Toadsworth to the outfield and maintains that Toad outfield. Peach, if she needs to swap, will usually swap for Magikoopa over at third, which maintains both the infield and outfield. It's if Magikoopa needs to swap that we start to see some chaos for the Monarchs' defensive structure. And that's exactly the kind of chaos I think the Monsters are going to have to try and create. They're going to have to try and bring enough offensive pressure to crack through 3 layers of Monarch pitching rotation. On the other hand, the Monsters' pitching is very mid-loaded, I'll say. They have a decent pitcher in Boo, a decent starting pitcher in Boo, formerly as their star player. They have since handed that off to Salamander, who is batting 7th, leaving Boo with less stamina than before. Then they swap over to Bowser, who has a mean fastball and a nasty star pitch, but not the best control over the ball, and again, enough stamina to make it through most of the game, and then they hand it off to Magikoopa for the close. Once Magikoopa is swapped to, that is already damage done to the infield. Magikoopa is their best infielder by far, with that ability to magically reel in balls into his glove. Not to discount Salamander, puts in some excellent work over at shortstop, but doesn't have any special fielding abilities, just good fundamentals. And if Magikoopa has to swap out, well, the swap was generally a little bit more random. It's not that planned out, and it's very easy for that to be destructive to the outfield of the Monsters. 2 out of 3 outfield players being swapped with Magikoopa would leave a hole in their outfield defense.
Well, we'll have to see now. The Monsters versus the Monarchs. Consistency versus a little bit of chaos. Can the Monsters hold on to first place for the entirety of this season? Or will they fall down to second at the last moment as the Monarchs scare the rest of the league heading into these playoffs? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 3 of Playday 14 of Grand Slam Galaxy. DK Jungle, it should also be said, whereas it was a relatively low-scoring game last game, it was on a relatively even field of Mario Stadium. I'm not sure if DK Jungle... I would call it relatively even. The outfield is a little bit bigger, but there's also plenty of potential at night for interference with that outfield. Immediately, Petey Piranha tests the bounds of this field, but is not able to clear that wider fence with that first hit. It should be...
Go ahead.
No. I think we should talk about Boomerang Bro, who catches the wing of the pillar. A very unique part of this field. Hey, you hit that ear? That's still a home run. Oh, nope. Still caught just the edge of the pillar. Yep, that gives you just a little bit more room for solo bombs, and immediately Boo put to the test against 2 huge sluggers and gets hit twice in a very big way to start this game.
The hit from Blue Magikoopa will be reeled in by Salamander. I was just going to comment that we don't normally see the daytime version of this field. We've gone to DK Jungle a few times, but it's almost always at night. We're almost never here during the day.
Is it true?
I'm gonna go check through the schedule real quick.
Now, it should be, as Thermite knocks a single in his... The first base, yes, Thermite somehow, despite a run from the Monarchs to open up the top of their first, is actually the first base runner in this game with a single up the middle. And this is where the Monsters, with their newer batting rotation, will be put to the test. the Monarchs do have that amazingly strong infield with both Boomerang and Firebro. And now, Red Pianta with a runner on first and a runner on second. Good opportunity to already put the screws to this defense. Or, very easy opportunity to hit into a double play. Finds the clearing, knocks it out to right field for a single. What's up? What have you found, Silver Lily?
Like my mistake, Willie. We've actually gone day and night evenly during this league. I've just somehow forgotten all of the daytime. I think it's because I am Musician's home commentator, and they have only played there in the evening. Star hit from Bowser fails to disrupt that Bro infield, as they don't need to get in the way of the ball in order to bring it in.
I really thought, as the double play, as Red Koopa hits it to Boomerang Bro, I really thought we saw Bowser. He does not go for star hits very often, and I thought the last time that he did it, a Bro caught it and then got burned by the fireball regardless. So, still, on his attempt, and with loaded bases, the Monsters are unable to convert, and despite a very strong start, find themselves technically in the hole heading into the top of the second, but it's only a 1-run lead for the Monarchs. Toadette.
And that's been what's very interesting, as I commented on before, Toadette hitting into a double play there. What's been pretty interesting about these two teams is that their games against each other have been low scoring compared to the rest of their games for both of them.
Well, they played in the preseason. That was 11-10, but that was on Peach's Ice Garden, which is a more high-scoring field, as Peach knocks it straight to Bolt for the last out of this inning. The other game was 6-3. I still think, while the 6-3 game for the Monarchs versus the Monsters was relatively low-scoring, maybe as the Monsters home commentator, I have a lot of bias going in here. I was going to say a little bias, but it's a lot of bias. But it really does feel like the Monarchs were in full control that entire game. So, now, eyes are on Salamander, the freshly starred player for the Monsters, who, despite great success for the Critters on the Rookies, has found no success at the bat last game, and his first at-bat this game is caught by Boomerang Bro.
Boomerang Bro hitting what looks to be like the next Fortnite dance.
I would have killed to see that in Fortnite.
Catching that one.
Alright, Bolt at least gives the Monsters something with a single out to left field, but Boo now, no star power, no item support, in a very different batting position than we're used to seeing him, and we should see his efficacy decrease. We should see the third out of the inning, but no. Boo does find a successful slap to put a runner on first, runner on second. This isn't terrible for the Monsters, but it's not great either, as one wrong move, and suddenly their strong top of the order could be cut in half, and have a lot left to play with next inning.
Well, you know, even the worst hitters sometimes can get some good hits in there. Thermite will not. Thermite will immediately hit it out to Blue Toad in the left field. But any batter, that's fun. Some of the fun of Galaxy League. Any batter can find a good slap right to the right part of the field, usually shallow center, occasionally shallow right or left if you can get it over the heads of the infielders, and make their way over to first with a little assistance.
I really was just like, I think Toadsworth just hit a home run, but no, he doesn't hit it high enough. PD Piranha is also not able to clear the field. That's 2 pop flies to right field for the Monarchs back to back.
And that's one of the nature of these larger fields. Players that rely on hitting high balls to clear the fences will struggle a bit, as they don't quite have the speed they need to clear the larger dimensions.
Curveball right down the middle.
Whereas players like Boomerang Bro, just barely hitting that high wall there instead of clearing it. But a line drive out to deep right field for a single.
This is another pop fly. There is item support, but as long as the guard keeps his head cool, he makes the catch and ends the inning. only success on the entire offensive side of this game was that pillar shot for a one-run bomb from Boomerang Bro in the first inning. Someone has to try to crack these starting pitchers. And it's a genuine question to me as to who breaks first. We know that Toadsworth is relatively low stamina as a pitcher, but he's been putting in work the last couple of games, lasting a lot longer than we're used to seeing him. Now, Agarg, go ahead.
I was just saying, we've been seeing a lot of starting pitchers last for longer than we normally do. Toadsworth has had the star power for the Monarchs this entire season, so it's not even like a stat shift for him. We've seen 3 complete games from Tato. We've seen Toadsworth pitch for 7. Primarily those two are the ones I'm thinking of, as we're gonna see a buddy jump attempt and successful catch from Toadette and Princess Toadstool in order to prevent Bowser from clearing the fences.
Bowser easily shut down by the right field, but still with a run on first and a run on second. Good opportunity for the Monsters abound as they have a very consistent batting rotation to continue relying on. Red Koopa, I think, has been a player who has surprised me with how solid he has been in this possibly for many teams suicidal 5th batting rotation, but he's caught out by the fire catch from Fire Bro to turn the double play, and still no team is able to do much. The Boomerang Bro home run is still the only run we have going into the top of the 4th.
That it is. We'll see if Fire Bro can replicate his bro's success. Instead, he's gonna hit... It had some speed, but it hit the ground too early. A bad angle off the bat there is going to turn up what might have been a line drive into an easy out at first. And the same, that one was just a bit of a soft hit, but the same will happen to...
Dark Bones.
Dark Bones. I have forgotten my ability to remember names.
Okay. I think with 3 up, 3 out from the Monarchs, it's weird. The Monsters have almost lapped. I think they're about to lap the Monarchs in the batting rotation, but they still have been shut down when it really matters. So it's hard to say. Well, the Monsters, I think, have the better batting performance right now, which is why Toadsworth may be tiring early, though he is a low stamina pitcher. Salamander finally puts in some work, but the buddy catch will snag him out for the second out against the Monsters. Very easy possibility for them here as they enter the weaker part of their rotation with that 8th and 9th batter, for them to be shut down heading into the 5th inning.
And another quick pop from Bolt is going to be reeled in by Boomerang Bro and keep Toadsworth on the mound going into the bottom of the 5th. But first, we've got the top of the 5th to get through. Blue Toad up, and Boo, another kind of lower stamina pitcher, still pitching. I think we've seen a lot of teams tighten up their early defenses. It takes longer for those starting pitchers to tire out, because a lot of teams have figured out how they want their fielding done.
It is
Earlier
true.
in the season, maybe not so much.
It is true. Grand Slam Galaxy is a league of morale. And if your starting pitcher gets so many points scored against him, gets so many good base hits, well, they'll tire out a lot quicker and be forced off the mound a lot earlier. Boo, though, even without the star power, is doing an admirable job pitching. I would have thought that with that home run bomb from Boomerang Bro, it'd be a lot easier to crack this ghost. But no, with a good slap to center field, Boo not only stays on the mound through at least 5 innings, but nets the single to start the Monsters and give them a good situation heading into the top of the order at the bottom of the 5th.
And Boo, despite kind of losing some of his team's faith without the star power, starting to have a little bit of doubts about his batting, is able to make another single. He was moved away from the top of the order after last game. Unfortunately, all of his efforts will be for nothing, as his teammate, and I've forgotten which one,
Thermite.
hit Thermite. If Thermite again hits a ball that results in a double play, Agaric there getting some field and item interference to allow for a double off of that hit.
Peach is able to find her way under the slap attempt from Strawberry, though, and that does mean that the Monsters remain scoreless at the bottom of the 5th, and the Monarchs have a great chance to extend their lead going into their Sluggers at the top of the 6th.
Going to see another long ball from Petey Piranha, and there's the buddy jump attempt, and it will succeed. Petey Piranha just has not been finding success on this field.
I was convinced that was too late. I was sure that was too late, but Agaric barely snags that ball and keeps the Monsters firmly in this game. Still a lot of danger for Boo. While he isn't tiring, he has a lot of incredible sluggers to get through. Inside pitch attempt, slider, hit square by Boomerang Bro to center field, but Agaric keeps his glove on that one. Yeah, he did get bullied a little bit. Maybe he'll bobble a little bit next. He might have a little bit of a concussion, I'm not sure.
The pow block into the barrel. And speaking of bees, that Boo support's gonna get Blue Magic Koopa over to second base.
This does give Firebow an excellent opportunity to bring in a second run for the Monarchs, but it looks like he wants more. Charges, but watches the first curveball. Inside pitch from Boo. Star hit in return. Can Agaric keep his glove on it? Yes!
It was enough force to slide Agaric halfway across the outfield, and now we are starting to see Boo tire just that little bit. Let's see if Toadsworth can make it through the 6th. Also up against some sluggers on the Monsters, starting with Captain Bowser, who was going to hit a long ball right out to Toadette center.
Rookies fans, I'm sure, popping off right now as Peach, the devastating main pitcher for the Monarchs, hasn't even been able to be brought in, but the Monsters are still scoreless. And with both Bowser and Seeker being caught out, it's now up to Elric to try to set up Salamander. He'll need to pop it above this infield, but out of the reach of that outfield. The good hit straight up the center does get a base runner. So that's something.
Howard flex the shell, leaving Toadette perfectly able to block it off at second. So he'll only get one base off of that, but that might be enough.
No,
Salamander hitting a pop fly would have been out of there. But the buddy jump from the Toadette and Peach is going to reel that in one more time. The Monsters have had no luck getting past this outfield. They've tried several times, and that's Toadsworth continuing to pitch. Still not off the mound yet.
Top of the 7th now. The one home run from Boomerang Bro, which we thought opened up this game, only keeps it sealed away and puts more and more pressure on the Monsters. Rookies fans starting to rise to their seats as Dark Bones hits a pop fly to right field and is caught out. It is the weaker section of the Monarchs rotation. We shouldn't expect much from them at the top of the 7th, but it will bring us back to the top of their order, or close enough. Once we reach the 8th. Toadette still with a good single.
Yeah, good use of the pow block there. Ultimately did not change the result. Toadette had plenty of time to get to first base and did not try for second. And then Blue Toad will hit it out, Bolt reeling it in for the out, turning it back to first for the double play. It took a little while. It took a little while for this league to catch on to how good of infielders the Magic Koopas were.
Still, the Monsters are actually the only team right now that fields a Magic Koopa at second base or shortstop, to start at least.
I think, yeah, that's absolutely right. Now, part of that is because one of the Magic Koopas is on the randomized team. They don't have much control over where the algorithm decides to put that Magic Koopa.
Oh, Boo hits the ball that the team doesn't need to see and ends the top of the batting order for the Monsters with a double play. Now Thermite, top of the batting order, excuse me, faces a 2-out hole. And we'll need some excellent hitting here to put the monsters.
I've just realized why we only see one Magikoopa at that infield. It's because one is on the randomized team, and the third is on the Monarchs. They've already got 2 amazing infielders. They don't need Magikoopa there.
Are there only 3 Magikoopas?
There are only 3 Magikoopas.
Huh. Okay.
Red, yellow, and Magikoopa, who I've been calling Blue Magikoopa.
Peach is finally bought in to ice out the bottom of the 7th. The monsters do have a runner in scoring position, and Agaric is a great slap hitter. But, okay, he barely stays out of range of Toadette, but field interference plus a barrel, Thermite runs home and ties this game. The field definitely helping out the home team more, as Thermite and Toad need that and finally tie this game at the bottom of the 7th. Strawberry, who has not had a lot of luck after being moved to the top of the order, has not acted great. Slap hit, navigates its way above Boomerang Bro, and puts a runner on first and second for Captain Bowser, who has hit deep bombs, but has not been able to show up or even touch the bases yet this game.
There's some amazing speed on Toadsworth's pitch back to second base. Ultimately did not matter, but I'm just impressed. Guess that's why he's a good pitcher.
Yeah, the old pitcher still has it in him. 2 strikes against Bowser means he still charges. He still hits this deep to right field. The Toad should be there in time. No! As the ball escapes them by inches, Captain Bowser shows up with a 3-run homer. And the monsters are the first ones to solve DK Jungle with a big home run out to right field, already tiring out Peach.
Just barely over the head of, was it Toadette or Toadsworth that went up in the air there? I think it was Toadette, wasn't it?
Yeah, the inning
Just
should
barely.
end on that pop fly.
Barely over Toadette's head. That will be the end of it. Peach very disappointed, giving up 4 after 6 scoreless innings pitched by Toadsworth. I think Toadsworth did give up the first one, but still.
Yeah.
She's got to be disappointed there. Gonna take out a little bit of her fury on that ball, but it'll be a low angle hit that dribbles into the glove of Salamander at shortstop for the easy out at first.
God, is it the espresso or the game that has my heart pounding? Let me check. It's the espresso. But also, this game is very exciting. Toadsworth pops it to second base for an out.
If
Now,
espresso has your heart pounding, you should drink less caffeine.
hey, listen, I need to stay awake on the weekends. Now, it should be said here, great opportunity from PD Piranha? No. Also flies out to Salamander. The Monarchs will only get one more chance to make up this 3-run gap, or the Monsters might be the first home team to not need to go to the bottom of the 9th today.
And Peach already stepping off. She has not been having much luck on the mound recently.
It should
Kind of
be
the
said.
opposite story of what we've been seeing with Toadsworth and Tato. Peach, that solid reliever that's been amazing all season
I thought that was
for
gonna.
the Monarchs, has had some very short appearances on the mound in her last few games.
Has not been performing in the way that so many captain pitchers should. 2 outs now for the Monsters. I also want to point out that the 3-run inning from the Monsters, the 4-run inning, they scored a run, then they had 2 outs and a runner on second. Actually, no, I think they had 2 outs and they had nothing because Thermite hit next to reach second. So the Monarchs, in the most dangerous part of their rotation, Boomerang Bro, Magikoopa, Fire Bro, 2 good home runs here.
And a tiring Boo. It could be enough. Boomerang Bro having to settle for another single out to deep right. Magikoopa a little bit dangerous. A chemistry insertion into this batting order, but no batting power. When the sluggers don't slug it the way you want to, Magikoopa's bad hitting can be disastrous for your batters on base, and that'll be a quick 1, 2, 3 out from the top of the Monarchs order, Boo joins the complete game club in a, once again, very low scoring 1-4 game between the Monarchs and the Monsters.
The Monsters, in the last stretch of Playday history, barely hold on to the first seed by run differential and secure their place at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the regular season, with Agaric the Toad, my boy, getting MVP honors. It should be said, it took the Captain Bowser hitting a 3-run homer on a squeaker of a hit. That was an incredibly close game. Honestly, at the end of this series, the we have a report on the opinions of any Rookies fans out here. A post now from Blue Sky calling across our board. Am I supposed to read this? I'm getting the go-ahead. Okay. Quote, I have one word for the Monsters. Fuck you? Am I pronouncing that correctly? I'm not sure. Okay. The Monsters barely secure their position. I'll be honest. Let me hype up the Monarchs. At the end of this game, yes, the Monsters come away with game 2 on their home field. They squeak out the 1-1 series record. But like, when we look at this series as a whole between the Monarchs and the Monsters, the question I always bring up with the with the Monarchs, it took me a second because there's 2 Mon teams, is if their sluggers are able to show up, the team's in very good hands. If their sluggers are not able to show up, they have a lot more trouble, and their sluggers were not able to do a lot of damage this game despite a good early attempt from Boomerang Bro. I honestly think
one player made an impact this game. It was just that solo shot from Boomerang Bro. Everyone else struggled to even get on base.
I honestly think that the Monarchs should hold their head high going into the playoffs, because when we look at these 2 games, the Monsters have had so much trouble over the end of their season. They won against the Rookies thanks to a bobble home run from Boo, which was crazy. They got smashed pretty handily the next game. Their first game against the Monarchs, they was low scoring. The Monarchs were in total control throughout most of the game though. And this game is an absolute squeaker. I think that the Monsters hold on to first seed, but I think they hold on to it by the seat of their pants and barely stay atop the leaderboard heading into the playoffs. I do not think they are the team to beat in this postseason, though. I think that the Rookies have been way more dominant heading into our golden run.
The Rookies have definitely been the star of this season, the meteoric rise after dropping a game, I believe 19 runs to 1, then eking out another against the Musicians right at the beginning of the season. Eking out another. I think that game ended like 16-12. I'm not actually looking at the schedule or the record right now. This is just going off memory.
The Rookies' first 2 games were losing 20-1 to the Musicians and then beating the Musicians on Bowser's Castle 14-20.
14-20, that was it. Okay. A game that would start the Musicians' early season woes and ultimately force their own restructuring, but also that series, and I think the one following, is what inspired the Rookies to restructure their team. And both teams, the Musicians kind of floundered for a little bit as they had to figure out who exactly they wanted where. Both teams have seen a lot more success in the last few games after making the last of those adjustments. The Rookies made them earlier and have gone almost undefeated for the rest of the season. They are absolutely the team to watch. Going into the finals, they will get that first round bye in second place still, even if they don't get the bragging rights of being first place in the regular season. They're still going to skip the first set of games. They still have one of the best run differentials in the league, the second best, in fact. And just an absolutely terrifying offense that has gone toe-to-toe with every other team in the league.
Yeah. Well, it should actually be pointed out, by the way. Oh, man. I was kind of hoping to see the Musicians versus the Monarchs in the postseason because their season was such a banger. But if we'll see it in the finals. We have 5 slots determined for this postseason. The Monsters head into the postseason in first, Rookies in second, Musicians in third, Monarchs in fourth, Spitballs in fifth. The 6th seed team comes down to our last game of the day. The Flowers versus the Fireballs. The last game of our regular season. This is not the right teams. The Flowers versus the Fireballs, the last game of our regular season, determines who faces the Musicians to start off the post-season. Story
now,
for
Willie,
these... Oh, go ahead.
I do have to say, technically, and this is a bunch of pedantic bullshit, so you really don't need to listen.
Are you about to say that
the
technically...
Spitballs are not a lock for 5th?
Yeah, all they need is for one of these teams to beat the other by 40 runs.
If the Flowers beat the FireEggs by 41 runs, or the FireEggs beat the Flowers by, a little bit of quick math, 59 runs, then the Spitballs will drop to 6th. It is probably not going to happen, but it is technically possible.
Okay.
You would have to see one of these two teams have the most explosive games of their entire history.
They would do more than secure themselves in the playoffs. They would secure themselves as legends. Heading into this, let's talk about this. So, the FireEggs are known as one of the comeback teams. The Musicians are arguably the clutch team. They're the only team, I think, to go to extra innings. And whenever they've gone there, they've won. But the FireEggs, twice this season, have been down heading into the back half of the game and have been one of the few teams that have been able to stage multi-run comebacks to get themselves back in after being down, most notably in their game versus, I believe, it was against the... It was on Mario Stadium. I really want to make sure that I get this right. I thought it was against the Rookies, actually. And it was on Mario Stadium way back in Series 2 before the Rookies made their absolute star team-making trade. The FireEggs made their reputation by making up a 6-0 deficit heading into inning number 6 and winning that game against the Rookies 6-7. I like to think of the FireEggs as the clutch team of the league, the comeback team. The Flowers, on the other hand, have traditionally struggled a lot with offense. 5 runs was a hard barrier for this team for so long. But last game, they restructured against the FireEggs. They scored 7 runs on Bowser Jr.'s Playroom, which is incredibly impressive. And they showed themselves not just as a contender for the last playoff spot, but as a contender for the entire league, looking freshly injected with new life heading into Series 7. So, with all that, the storyline that I want to emphasize heading into this final game, can the new look Flowers earn their way into the playoffs and 2-0 the FireEggs in this series to do it? Or will the ever-clutch FireEggs win out against the Flowers on home field advantage on a very disruptive Yoshi Park and secure themselves that 6th seed? Silver Lily, what are your thoughts before we head into this game?
Well, I have a couple. As the Musicians' home commentator, I want to see the Flowers win it because the Flowers were the Musicians' last opponent, and the Musicians beat them 2-0 in a pretty dominating fashion. So that's a little bit of bias. That was pre-restructuring, but the Musicians had a much better time against the Flowers than they did against the FireEggs, who they lost to 0-2 in true Musician Circus fashion. As...
Go ahead.
Now, as a commentator in general, as a fan of the league, I just want to see it be close. It is so exciting having the last game of the regular season be a last chance knockout to find the last playoff team of the season. This is fantastic. You could not write storylines better than this for sports. So I just want to see it be close.
Okay. The Flowers versus the FireEggs. The last game of the regular season. I'm going to absolutely quadruple check the players actually before I do this because I'm so terrified that there's a mistake. But I think that we're all set to go. I forgot to do it. Okay. Ash, Red Yoshi, Pegasus, Baby Mario, Yoshi, Mario, Baby DK, Baby Luigi, King K. Rool, Mario, Ash, Baby DK, Pegasus, King K. Rool, Yoshi, Baby Luigi, Baby Mario, Red Yoshi, he's the star player. Flowers, I'm so sorry, I'm so nervous at screwing this up. Daisy, Baby Daisy, Blue Yoshi, Blue Critter, Daisy, Luigi, Soda, Tyler 1, Blue Pianta, Luigi, Tyler 1, Blue Pianta, Soda Poppin', Blue Critter, Blue Yoshi, Baby Daisy, Daisy, Daisy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the end of it all and the end of the regular season for Grand Slam Galaxy. Oh boy. This feels like a finals. This feels so terrifying. It would be very poetic for the FireEggs to secure their postseason appearance on Yoshi's Stadium. But this is a very chaotic field. We've seen teams swing, win, and lose on this field. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of who wins or loses this game, as Mr. Consistency doesn't show up to start the game for his team and grounds out to the third baseman of Baby DK. Are you with me, Silver Lily? Oh, there we go.
I am here. My apologies. I am sending a quick message off to someone, but I am doing my best to pay attention as we see another quick out from Tyler 1 hit over to Yoshi in the outfield. I think the biggest, or not outfield, infield. They do have an outfield Yoshi, but that's a completely different Yoshi. I think the biggest question for the FireEggs right now is how long can Mario pitch? While they do have another captain tier player in their actual captain of Yoshi, Yoshi does not have the pitching prowess that Mario does, and once Yoshi's off the mound, they don't really have a strong pitcher.
Well,
so, watch for when Mario starts to tire, because that could be when the Flowers break through.
Well, Luigi is the first one to win the brother versus brother face-off, as he is the new starting pitcher for this Flowers team. And immediately the first two batters for the FireEggs return the favor by getting caught out very early. Baby DK, the third batter and possibly the last one for this FireEggs offense, able to evade his way and be the first player to reach a base in this ever so important final game of the season.
2 outs. Let's see if his team can make that base running count. Pegasus watches 2. 1 strike, 1 ball. In that order, a second ball coming in with an inside curve and a third on the outside curve. Excellent plate discipline from Pegasus. Going to swing at the 5th, and it will be an easy pop-up and an easy catch by Blue Critter to end the inning.
Okay. Wait a second. Is the Flowers batting rotation correct? Are they already a Blue Critter? Blue Critter, Blue Yoshi, baby. No, this is right. Okay. I'm so sorry. Oh, they did get they must have gotten a batter on last inning and I didn't notice. I'm just so panicked. I'm so nervous of screwing something up. As Blue Critter hits it deep, Ash needs to hustle to make this catch. Gets there in time and makes the catch with Red Yoshi.
Just barely makes it in time, but Blue Critter showing that there is plenty to be afraid of from this Flowers batting lineup. Blue Critter still the starred player for the Flowers?
Blue Critter is the starred player for the Flowers as of last game. Freshly got that privilege. Daisy spacing out the star power to the rest of her team.
And been making excellent use of it. Hit a number of sacrifice flies on Bowser Jr.'s playroom. And here, threatening home run potential with that hit towards the back that was just barely caught by the buddies. Blue Yoshi able to run to third off a Boo-assisted single by Baby Daisy.
We're in the Daisy core of the Flowers now.
I've been calling it the Daisy Chain.
Damn, that's way better. That's so much better. Fireball pitch from Mario, tries to catch Daisy lacking and does so, forcing the strike. Curveball, another whiff. Chance for a strikeout, but Mario looks like he's going on the inside. No, just straight over the middle, but Daisy returns the favor with a hit straight down the middle for the first run of this game.
Some good base running, able to make excellent advantage of that soft hit out to center, going right between the infielders and allowing the Daisy Chain to remain on base. Daisy on second, Daisy on first. Here's Daisy up at bat.
She also hits a good hit.
It's a very similar hit. And
We
the
have
bases
loaded.
are loaded.
We've
By
loaded
Daisy.
daisies. It's a flower field out there for Mr. Consistency, and he wants to take advantage with a charge hit and finds another hit straight up the middle. That
And
means that
here's
it's
some more
still
of that.
loaded bases for the Flowers.
Some more of that excellent small ball play we've seen from the Flowers in the past. Daisy Chain strengthening up the end of the lineup in order to make it so that the team can take full advantage of their ability to just get on base, get on base, get on base. Here's another hit out to center. Guess what? Bases are still loaded. In comes Daisy.
Third Daisy
Leaving
of
only one Daisy remaining on base.
third Daisy of the inning to make this a 4-0 game should Blue Pianta clear this infield, and it looks like the slugging Piantas want to make that happen. Slap to center field. Daisy hesitates
is
on
not
third base.
running. They're gonna catch Daisy out at third. The Daisy Chain does not score in its entirety. Could have been an easy continuation. Instead, it will be a second out.
Oh my god,
It's the same hit. I feel like I'm caught in the time loop, and the only reason I know I'm not is because the people at bat keep changing.
it's because the score keeps going up for the Flowers. Incredible inning for them, as their team is able to find all the holes it needs to and put them up to a 4-0 record as Blue Critter steps back up to the mound. Loaded bases still, charging, looking for something. I want to see a fireball pitch here from Mario, and I will. Blue Critter
It's
able to...
still caught, but Baby Mario in the right position doesn't catch it himself, but sends it over to Baby DK to finally end the inning after 4 runs off of single after single after single. Could have been 5 if not for a base running error by Daisy.
I love hearing that snap from you. Well, the FireEggs will need to earn that clutch reputation that they are known to have, starting with King K. Rool barely mistiming a possible train home run there, and letting Yoshi, the captain, step up to bat. They're 4 in the hole. It's not unwinnable. It's only the second inning. As Blue Critter makes a
Excellent catch by Blue Critter and a laser of a throw. Right over to Tyler 1 to catch K. Rool on what he thought was probably a safe little jaunt back to first.
absolutely incredible double play from the starred player. That extra speed from the throw might have been what was really needed to secure that double play, and the FireEggs are denied. They'll be in a weaker part of the batting rotation going into inning number 3, so they don't have a good opportunity next inning unless they start this small ball rotation that the Flowers have found so well. But no, instead, Baby Luigi knocked out by a pow block while the ball is in the air, and it allows Blue Yoshi off of what should have been a very standard ground out to reach second.
That's where pow blocks can really be the most devastating, is on plays like that. We're now going to see Baby Daisy in a little bit of a mirror of the last inning, or it would have been if Ash Ketchum wasn't right there in the outfield ready to do exactly what his name suggests. Cut down the daisy chain right at the start.
Every laser to left field is another ball which I get scared about. But it's runners on the corner, 1 out as Mario starts to tire. He'll face down Captain Daisy now at the top of the 3rd, who slaps it out to right field. It won't be caught out, but she is caught out at first for the 2nd out of the inning. Good fielding there from the right fielder Pegasus and Captain Yoshi to catch out Daisy. Mr. Consistency with a star hit that we rarely see from him, though, knocks that ball out into left field, safely past the infield, and scores another run and puts runners on the corners. That's where Mario will be taken off, and Yoshi will very early in this game be put up to pitch.
I'm always happy to see a little bit of star power get spent by the batters. We usually see it get dumped into pitching. We see so many star pitches and so few star hits. So thank you, Mr. Consistency, for throwing that one out there. Picked exactly the right time to do it, with a little assistance from Tyler 1 that will get them 2 more runs.
It'll have to be a legendary comeback from the FireEggs, as they are now down 6-0 at the bottom of the 3rd. They've done this before this season, but they need to start this comeback now as Baby Mario hits a good single with a hit to right field.
Do it against the rookies?
They did it against the Rook. Yes, this was in Series 2, I believe, on Mario. It was before, I talked about it in the lead up to this as a star pitch. Contact from Red Yoshi, but he'll have wished it wasn't. The shell does stop the double play, but it still catches out the runner at second. But yeah, it was Series 2 on Mario Stadium. It was Playday number 4, where the FireEggs came back from a 6-0 deficit against the Rookies. Now,
well, they've got 2 on to try and start their comeback here.
oh!
But some excellent fielding by Tyler 1 is going to shut them down with a solo fielded double play. An excellent jumping catch and a little bit of hubris from the first base runner will end the inning for the FireEggs. I do also want to give credit for Tyler 1's earlier play in that out, able to quickly recognize that that shell was going to take him down and he couldn't just run back to first, and made a quick field over to second to guarantee they at least got the out there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Tyler 1. This happened to a different me last time, as Blue Critter uses the extra star juice to knock a 2-run homer, and this will have to be the biggest comeback that we've ever seen in Grand Slam Galaxy, as the Flowers knock one straight out of the park to make this 8-0 now versus the FireEggs.
The hits keep coming for this restructured Flowers squad. Yoshi facing down some familiar faces right from the start of this scoring spree, as Blue Yoshi once again finding his way to first base for the start of the daisy chain. Baby Daisy slaps it up left field, but quick fielding by the Marios. Baby Mario and Mario Prime will send them both home.
Mario Prime is just a funny name to me. Now it's to Daisy with a hit out to left field. Not caught out by Ash. Barely evades his glove for a single.
And here is Daisy up to bat. 2 outs this time. Only 1 Daisy on. Let's see if Daisy can put her away.
Good clean hit
Or
up the
bring her
middle.
home, I guess. Put her away would be if she was pitching, which she does, but isn't right now.
It's Mr. Consistency with a Daisy on first, Daisy on second, slap up the middle. That should be a single, and it will load the bases for Tyler 1.
Now, Tyler 1 was the first breakout player we saw from the Flowers. In one of their earliest wins in the season, he was their first ever MVP. He has the ability to make these plays, not doing so today, unfortunately, but he has participated in scoring earlier and he's been excellent on defense. So while this inning will end with a quick Tyler 1 fly out to Baby Mario at shortstop, keep an eye on him for the rest of the game.
I believe it was maybe the first home run in Flowers franchise history was when Tyler 1 knocked away a clutch homer early in the season on Yoshi Park. Baby DK just hits it straight to Daisy like he's playing catch for the first at-bat for the FireEggs at the bottom of the 4th. Pegasus now versus Luigi, who has been doing an amazing job containing these players. Charge hit from Pegasus, but that just means that'll be an easy catch by Blue Yoshi. The right field getting worked now. And it's King K. Rool, who has so often been on fraud watch, who knocks this ball out to left field, but the pipe interferes and stops the catch and at least lets him get a single.
Definitely not had the slugging his team has been hoping for. After being hyped up as one of the league's top batters, he just has not had the performance throughout the season that his fans have been hoping to see. And right here, even his single is put to waste, as some good fielding by Daisy is going to close the inning out.
Yoshi is already starting to tire, and that spells disaster for the FireEggs pitching if and when the captain is taken off the mound. Soda Poppin steps up, and it's up to Yoshi now to stop Blue Critter from having runners on. Which, no, the Daisies, the Flowers have had way more success than we could ever suspect, always, with all their players this game, just finding that perfect hole up the middle. The double play from... No! I was gonna say the double play from the Marios, but Baby Mario is not able to throw in time as Blue Critter safely tags up on first. Blue Yoshi, caught up by Ash in left field, will make sure that at least the lead is not extended. But now, the FireEggs, who made a 6-0 comeback starting at the bottom of the 5th, now need to make an 8-0 comeback if they want to make a postseason appearance. Baby Luigi versus Luigi. Slaps it. Not able to avoid Blue Critter's glove. That's out number 1. Baby Mario versus Luigi. This is the back half of the Yoshis. I did say the FireEggs were entering a weaker section of the batting order, I think. That might have been earlier in this game. Tries it, but is caught out by Daisy. The item interference, though, does let him at least get to first base.
An early fired fireball will find Daisy and prevent the out. That does allow Baby Mario to get on. Star player Red Yoshi needs to show his team what his star power is worth. Will not do so. Instead, it's Daisy with the bobble that allows him on and allows Baby Mario to advance on what could have been an easy double play.
Luigi does not want his brother getting a good hit, but Mario says no thank you, and with the Boo assistance, a little bit of chaos on the infield as Red Yoshi manages to tag up, and Blue Critter threw it to Daisy. That would have been an easy out, but instead it's loaded bases now for Ash Ketchum. as the second batter in this order comes up with only one out, and now it's his turn to find a good hit up the middle. Red Yoshi is running home. The weak throw from the outfield will let two runners tag up.
They've broken the scoreless barrier, and they still have no outs, and
One out.
on. If a one out, you're right, and 2 on. If a comeback's gonna start, this is a good way to do it. A long ball from Baby DK is going to require some good team pitching by that outfield to field, and sent back in time will still bring one in on a double. No item assistance and no field assistance, just baby power.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of concern there. Smart play from Baby Daisy to realize the train was coming and that she needed to get that ball out of there, relying on the buddy throw. Runner on second, runner on third with no pressure on them. Means that Pegasus now charges. He will... Oh, okay. He will get caught out at first. A little bit of extra throwing there from the field to make sure that Ash Ketchum didn't try to run home. King K. Rool with 2 on, though, is not able to avoid the infield and is thrown out quickly. And that's the FireEggs. Okay. Disappointing from them for King K. Rool to come up with 2 on the base and to get nothing out of it. But still, 3 runs is 3 runs. The question for them is who's going to be the relieving pitcher after Yoshi exits the mound as he faces down the daisy chain.
It's good they were able to start their own scoring, but they also have to stop the onslaught. A bad hit by Baby Daisy will make the first out easy, but the Daisy's up to bat, and she's looking to send it over the wall. Red Yoshi, even with that star power boost to speed, not making it to the left field in time. The corners of this field are probably some of the easiest to score home runs on because of the sheer amount of distance the center field has to cover to try and make that buddy jump happen. And it will be Pegasus coming in from the outfield, leaving a right field hole in their chemistry.
Incredible reflexes by Baby DK to catch that line drive attempt from Daisy. It would have flown foul, but getting the out is nice. Mr. Consistency comes up to start the batting order with no runners on for the first time, I think, for him this game. He will knock a single. He is Mr. Consistency. But now plenty of opportunities for Pegasus
right at the
to ice
beginning
this
of the
out.
game, he was the leadoff.
Okay, fair enough.
But it has been a while.
Mario dives for that catch and clears off the pressure for the FireEggs. But they now only have 4 innings to score 6 runs while also shutting down the Flowers if they want to make it back in this game. It would be a hell of a way for them to secure playoffs. But it has to start with the captain Yoshi facing down Luigi, who it should be noted has not even started to tire. The diving catch from Daisy is made this time.
I think we've seen a little bit of a sweat drop from Luigi last inning when they were starting.
Sorry.
Yeah, see, he's tiring a little bit. They scored 3 runs off him. That's a little bit of a hit to his morale. His team is still determined to back him up, though. Daisy getting a quick catch, got the first out. The field itself getting in the way a little bit to prevent an out there, though I think Baby Luigi had plenty of time. And there's Blue Yoshi over in right field with the
catch
serving
on the line
as
drive
backup
attempt, yeah.
for the pitch. Yeah.
Red Yoshi does find the hole, and it's nice to have a runner on first and second, but Baby Luigi does not take advantage of the fireball to advance to third. And as Mario steps up to the plate, Luigi is finally relieved, and Daisy, the captain, has to face down this FireEggs team. Mario hits a good hit up the middle that will load the bases, but can the FireEggs capitalize? It's great to be in this position, but you need to bring the runners to home. That's the only base that matters. And no, Blue Critter catches out on a great dive. Ash Ketchum's attempt to knock it up the middle, And that's a 0, a donut for the FireEggs in this inning. They now only have 3 innings to score those 6 runs, if they can keep the Flowers scoreless, which is looking very, very hard.
Daisy did let one on there, but with some team help was able to clean it up very quickly. That's what you want to be able to see from a reliever. Honestly, I'm a little surprised she didn't go for a star pitch there. Her star pitch would have locked up that inning for sure, though they are a little depleted on star power, so that might have been why. The batter that was the last out didn't have any item support. And speaking of no item support, that POW block will not be fired. Ultimately the right decision, as it would have knocked out Blue Pianta and not really changed much for the fielding of the ball. So instead, we see bases loaded, and it looks like Blue Pianta's running home. Soda Poppins making a little bit of a mistake. Tries to think better of it, but it's far too late.
Red
and it
could have
will
bobbled
be
that ball.
1 on, 1 out, 1 in. And
Red
Blue
Yoshi's.
Yoshi hitting into a quick Mario to Baby Mario to Baby Luigi double play.
Oh my god, the bobble from Red Yoshi letting the Flowers get an extra run when every single run counts so much. Baby DK steps to the plate against Daisy. Charges early, good contact out to center field, but Baby Daisy is too quick and catches that one. Now it's Pegasus to try to set up for King K. Rool. Watches the first one. A good, excellently aimed hit out to center left. Will he go for 2? No, he'll settle for 1. And King K.
Probably
Rool,
the right.
this man has been on FOD Watch so many times. We need a big home run from him, but no, his slaps are too powerful. He's caught out very quickly by Daisy in left field. That means that the FireEggs, with 2 outs now, have to rely on their captain Yoshi to advance this runner. He does do so.
Do it. Little fire support's not gonna mean much. Pegasus does not take the opportunity to keep running. Baby Luigi up at the plate, charging on the first, but lets it fly by.
Baby Luigi has been so much of a better batter than his brother, but it doesn't help him here. I think the Boo blessing the ball while it was in Blue Critter's glove, and that means that the FireEggs now with a near impossible task in the 8th to make a postseason appearance.
I appreciate the alliteration chains, Willie, as we are now going to see the Daisy chain stepping up to the plate once more. A hit from Baby Daisy will curve foul for the second strike. She's just going to slap this one up the center, right where they want it to go. And a little stun on Red Yoshi, just because.
Second link in the Daisy chain.
Up.
Line drive out to right field. The pipe, the Boo. This will allow Baby Daisy to reach third. And Mario just has to watch as runners on the corners and his team in so much danger with Captain Daisy up to the plate. Even if she's caught out, which she is not, with a good hit out to right field, allowing Baby Daisy to touch home, it's Mr. Consistency up.
Mr. Consistency hitting consistently, throwing it right up center to load the bases and re-earning that title he had let slip for a little bit, bringing on Tyler 1. That's going to be a line drive that will ultimately be a ground out into double play. It still brings one in, but a lot worse from what had been loaded bases with no outs. Blue Pianta slap is going to bring in the last of the Daisies, as all 3 made it home this inning.
And the Daisies are showing, sorry, the Flowers, I almost misnamed the team as Baby Luigi snags out the 3rd out. The Flowers, with a new look and new rotation, are 13-3 up. The FireEggs need to score 10 in 2. As a good attempt on the item knocks out both Daisy and Soda popping at third base, but he's still able to throw out that ball and ground out Mario. Now, Red Yoshi
item
hits it.
support on this one. Shell very capable. Oh my goodness, Luigi jumping over it to still make the out. Determined not to let his captain down. And we're going to see another flower pitch here with another green shell to intercept. This one will bump Blue Critter out of the way. No theatrics from him, and it will allow Mario on. Daisy really wants to put these away, and there's no item support on this one. Might have been better to just watch this one fly, Ash, but he takes the chance to hit it, and Luigi brings it in and sends the team back out onto the field.
With a 10-run lead, the Flowers have all but secured themselves not just a spot in the playoffs, but no, they are looking like one of the teams that could try to storm through, and the 6th seed is looking incredibly dangerous as we enter the postseason. That is, of course, pending the greatest comeback that we've ever seen in Grand Slam Galaxy history, where the FireEggs would need to secure right now 10 runs in 1 inning. Baby Daisy, the start of the Daisy chain, which has seen moderate success this game after, to my memory, not being so successful on Junior's Playroom.
And the Flowers are looking so much scarier than they were just one series prior. A bobble from Mario and a boo use is going to make sure this ball goes fair, so the Daisy chain can start it off by getting onto base. The FireEggs desperately need to lock things down if they even want a chance at this comeback. I think 10 runs is more than we've ever seen scored in a single inning by any team.
We've seen it maybe twice. Maybe
Is this gonna
twice.
curve foul? It's just barely gonna curve foul. Daisy reminding that even without star power, she's still got bomb potential. Instead, she's just gonna hit it out to Red Yoshi in deep center.
Well, there was a bomb in center field anyway. All right. The FireEggs need 10 runs to save their postseason. It's looking grim. Daisy pitches it to Baby DK, who will ground out to third baseman. They have 2 more outs in their careers, in their season. Pegasus now facing down Daisy. Knocks the fastball out to left field. That's a single. No!
Oh!
The laser beam for Blue Critter allowed to turn the out, and now Fraud Watch King K. Rool start hit out to center field, caught by Baby Daisy, and the FireEggs season ends on a starred line drive from King K. Rool being caught out in center field, and the Flowers looking so dangerous as they secure seed number 6 heading into this postseason.
Well, needless to say, Willie, as the musician's home commentator, I am shaking in my boots thinking about that series to come, because the Flowers securing the 6th seed will be facing the 3rd place musicians in the playoffs at the beginning of the postseason. There we go. I don't have to repeat my words.
Alright. For the FireEggs, it is
Daisy getting the MVP nod. I'm surprised by that. I thought Blue Critter had a good shot at it.
Yeah. Well, the FireEggs, we'll have to talk about them first. Thank you, FireEggs, for a wonderful, wonderful season, actively participating, swapping up their batting order, keeping it very interesting. Unfortunately for them, the team is not able to secure their final comeback. They're not able to reformat their power and offense like the Flowers did so successfully. And these players end their season. King K. Rool ending the hopes for his team and being the final out is, I would say, very poetic.
That I must agree. curious to see how teams think about King K. Rool going into the next season. For now, his season ends here. That last at-bat for his team, spending it almost the entire season on Fraud Watch, and he's just not able to turn it around when his team needs him most. Over on the Flowers, the newcomer, the third Daisy, the link in the Daisy chain, taking her first MVP with an excellent batting performance. Some very consistent play from her this game.
Excuse me?
I do think she had one long ball. She did hit one home run. She hit a solo shot out to left field. One of the only home runs this game. Almost the entire score line was small ball.
I gotta give a big shout out to these Flowers. Not only did they hold the FireEggs to 3 runs on both Junior's Playroom and on Yoshi Park, but they finally, after we were so harsh on them for so much of the season, find the offensive potential in their team, find the power that they need, and secure their spot in the playoffs with a excellent 10-run leading game to secure their spot. Well, I want to again give one last flowers, if you'll excuse me, to the FireEggs. Thank you so much for joining us. They will fall with a 5-9 record and a negative 44 run differential at the last moment and are stopped from reaching this postseason. Silver Lily, let's talk about our standings and about our playoffs heading into the postseason for this league. Now, the standings as they stand, if you'll excuse me, the Monsters and the Rookies both securing those buys. The Royal family doing very well for themselves as they both end with an 11-3 record. Did either of them drop a series at any point?
No.
No, neither of them dropped a series at any point during the season, including, miraculously, I suppose, for the Monsters against each other and holding on to those top spots. I think that the storyline, of course, heading into the postseason for both of them, the Rookies look near unstoppable, having a rough start to their season, starting it out 2-2. 2-2 before starting back their comeback. Meanwhile, the Monsters, who looked so indomitable, are actually looking very mortal and like one of the middle of the pack teams, to be honest, heading into this playoffs. Maybe I'm biased as the Monsters home commentator, but they're not looking as strong as they should be. Silver Lily, for these two top teams, the two teams that secured a bye, what are your thoughts heading into the postseason?
Both of them have been very, very threatening teams throughout the season. Both of them having dropped only 3 games, and as you were saying, never a series. They dropped games to each other, each of them. The Rookies dropped a game to the now eliminated FireEggs, and the Monsters dropped one to the Monarchs. And then both of them have dropped a game to the Musicians. Now the Rookies, that was their very first game, right before their biggest restructuring. It remains to be seen what kind of performance they will put up against the Musicians now that both teams have hit kind of their final forms. I do not expect to see too much shakeup in our team lineups heading into the postseason. And it is the Musicians that the Rookies will be facing if the Musicians win win their first game in the playoffs. It is the Flowers that they will be facing if the Flowers are able to take that series. And the Flowers have also undergone a very, very significant restructuring since the last time these two teams played. So I think the Rookies might be feeling a little nervous. They have seen two teams that absolutely tore their way through the end of the season. Right at the end here, coming off strong of 2-win series. Over on the Monsters side of things, the teams they could be facing are the Monarchs, who they just split a series with, or the Spitballs. The Spitballs have struggled throughout the season despite having a 6-8 record, tying them with the Flowers and having a better run differential by 30 still. The Spitballs have struggled later in the season, dropping both games to the Rookies in this last set of games. And against the Monarchs, the last time those teams played, if I can find it, apologies.
That means.
I believe they got 2-0'd. When was that? Was that series 5? No, it was not series 5. That was series 4. And yes, they got 2-0'd by the Monarchs in a 3-5 game on DK Jungle Day and a 7-10 game on Mario Stadium night. Now, I believe that was before the Spitballs did a little reshuffling of their own, moving Wiggler back to the infield and picking up a Yellow Toad to form a Me Toad Me outfield. Those were close games. The Spitballs, with their adjustments, might be able to pull it back.
Well, let's take a look now at the full...
To contend with some of the best.
Oh. Of course. Alright. Okay, cool. So, I have prepared something incredibly ugly now. Look, it's a gift. It's a gift. Let's get the playoff bracket up on the screen. You've already talked a little bit about the Musicians, Monarchs, Spitballs, and Flowers now heading into this postseason, so I'll take the standings down, and I will bring up our bracket. Here's as it stands right now, and let me clarify the rules as they stand heading into the playoffs. The playoffs are best of 5 for the play-in semifinals, and best of 3 for the play-in semifinals, and best of 5 for our finals. The Monsters and the Rookies, as the two teams to get first and second, will get those buys. So it'll be the Monarchs and Monarchs, Spitballs on one side of the bracket, and Musicians, Flowers on the other side of the bracket. Now, for these play-ins and for these best of 3s, the rules are going to be both teams ban a stadium, both teams pick a stadium, and then both teams ban a stadium, and the remaining stadium will be the deciding match. The team that ended higher in the postseason for both these play-ins will get the advantage of being home field first. I'm not sure if that's reflected right now in the way that it's shown, but whoever ended higher in the main season, which in this case is the Monarchs for the Monarchs versus Spitballs, and is the Musicians for the Musicians versus Flowers, so I didn't do that right, will get home field honors first in those best of 3s. Best of 5, I'll figure it out when we get there, but our next broadcast on, I believe, Tuesday, pending disaster, will be the start of our postseason. We all look forward to seeing you there. Silver Lily, closing thoughts before we close out our last regular season game?
It
Hello? It.
has commentated with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said Silver Lily. I'm sorry. We had a little bit of internet problems. You said it and then cut out.
Hopefully be able to commentate it with you, is what I said.
Well, no matter what, I will rejigger the schedule and make sure it's known ahead of time to make sure that you are there for as many playoff games as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for Grand Slam Galaxy. I will see you all in the postseason, as our next broadcast will be the quarter, the
I
play-ins.
think I've lost you.
Hi. Well, it's a good thing that we're stopping with all the internet bombs that we've had. Our next broadcast will be the 2 quarterfinals best of 3s. Thank you so much for joining me, and until the postseason begins, play ball. And good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.